hit subscribe. Subscribe to my guy, Uncle D. Tell him Big Bass sent you.
Dennis McClellan. I'm an attorney here in Houston, Texas, an advocate for black men, largely because I am a black man. I'm a black father, I have black sons. Hey man, I do what I do.
Know what it means to miss New Orleans and miss it each night and day.
We still look at all the beautiful music that we've created. That's what's on the inside of us. We are wonderful people. This man just sat up here and said, this is what we voted for. And this is a Hispanic man. So how can you then tell us that we owe you something when your own people are saying this is the intention that they planned for?
Don't be upset now that you took forever to get your paperwork in order and you never did it.
The real American told you, if you don't do it the right way, if you don't follow the law, you're going to be put. So you were warned. It's nothing to do with racism. You were warned. Even still, I've yet to see any Irish or Scotsman or British people being sent back.
I'm from a city, hitters really thinking they pop boy. Hit with a few shells, congratulations, he a hot boy. Locked up so long, he know nothing, he a block boy. All she know is just being about her paper, she a hot girl. Wish she could hit a lick and then fade him, she a block girl. Personal Olympic, dismount, buck break him, you a not girl. How you think we up and off in that water, keep it cocked girl. All I'm doing is talking to your daughters, close your mouth girl. I'm in New Orleans high, surrounded by that water high. Projects all is high, blues music we brought it high. Your people moved on the East Coast, all from New Orleans high. Sugar coated, it turns to sugar, we call it high. Truth hurts, it taught us high. Look down on us others high. Been rapping for Bronx, knew about a hip hop. You started high, iconic, immortal high. Essence of it, you owe it high. Jazz music, we poets high. Every day we blowing high. Keep coming. Cold with it. Cold outside, see the blizzard king coming. Politics, they're so cold. You voted Trump, that's a no-go. You in the dumps, take a no-dope. Don't fall asleep, sip your cocoa. They outside in a low-low, watch it ice slide, then they go-go. The illegal better creep slow when they jump out like the po-po. Even Rome got depot. Gotta go home, not the depot. Gotta hold on, that's sleep slow. You left home for the sea notes. Killer squillers and the beef folks. Gotta hit them all with the Rico. So we're tired of how we know. When it's showing up, better leave, bro.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Take Obama for everything that he did.
Run, Forrest, run! Run, Forrest, run!
Run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run. If you wait for it, I help, we're done. Better run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run. If you wait for it, I help, we're done. Better run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run. If you wait for it, I help, we're done. Better run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run. If you wait for it, I help, we're done.
For decades, they put forth an effort to try to intimidate black people who live there and force them out the city. That's the KKK. And it took until 2011, the feds had to come in and they literally indicted over 50 members of the gang for conspiring to terrorize black people. This is in Los Angeles, California. You have another gang.
Run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run. If you wait for it, Run, Forrest, run. If you waiting for it, I help, we're done.
They made their bed, they had allies, and they basically spit on their allies. So they have to eat the karma that they created for themselves.
I will not be doing anything that could potentially make
all the black women in the chat room say, do nothing. I want all the black women listening to this broadcast right now. Say, do nothing. Okay? Say, do nothing. That's where they're at. They are going to do nothing. Their capes are down, their feet are up. Okay, they somewhere with some rocks in the bottom of their tub, soaking and sipping Chardonnay. They are doing nothing. Do nothing. That's where the sisters at. They done. They done. What's up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. My name is Dennis Sperling, also known as the Blizzard King, and I am the deliverer of the cold, hard truth. Now, my good friend Kevin Samuels gave me that name before he passed away. And although he talked a lot about relationships, I tend to stay away from relationships. That's really not what I do. But when it gets down to discussing politics and social occurrences, I do my thing. Nevertheless, I want to acknowledge all the people in the chat room. Big shout out to all my members, man. Mr. 43TX. Who else we got up in here, man? I got my Wrench Mob guys in here too. Boris Barracuda. Let's see. Shalik Williams. Thank you. She said, ice, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Shalik. And this one is funny. He said, I canceled my star subscription to join this channel. Money well spent. That's what I'm talking about. Man, get your stars back, baby. Come on. Uncle D is free, but I appreciate you being a member, man. I'm going to make sure I earn my money. That's what I like to do, man. Shout out to Broken Blade. Shout out to Mr. Mark the Freelancer. Big up to you, man. JJ Diesel, Cowboy Monk. All my guys who's been here for years. That's right. LaShawn Jones. That's right, baby girl. Do nothing. Shout out to DT. Who else we got up in here? Mark the Freelance. I think I already. Now, and the watch. All right. Hand clap for all my members. Now, you guys see the title. And I know you understand where I'm coming from. I don't really have to explain myself. I think those of you who are new here can already get where I'm coming from. Now, here's the thing. You know, there's been a, let me see, how do I say this? Golly, there's been a lot of people on the internet, okay, asking black folks to come clean up their mess, a mess that we didn't make, okay? Once again, we're being asked to save a group who never stood with us, never marched with us, never fought for us. And that is the Latino community crying all over the internet. Literally, you got Latinos out here crying. We see them on TikTok and Instagram and X sobbing, wailing, you know, complaining about how unfair the system is. You know, the fact that they voted for Trump and they thought, oh, you know, surely he won't send us home, right? They're devastated. They're heartbroken. They feel betrayed by the same white people they thought were aligning with, you know, they were aligning with them when they voted for Trump, right? And I want to be clear about something. 60% of Latinos voted for Donald Trump in 2024. Yes, the same Trump who ran on mass deportation, the same Trump who called their countries holes, okay? That's the same Trump who locked their children up and separated families. And now, after aligning themselves with the white survivalists, okay, who are just simply trying to survive after cheering for their own oppression, After they're turning their backs on black people and indigenous people, they're crying. Boo-hoo. Somebody type boo-hoo in the chat room. Boo-hoo. They're now looking at us, black Americans, to save them. And the question, and this is see, we've talked about this issue, and we're going to keep talking about why? Why? As our great teacher, mother teacher, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing said, why? Neely Fuller also said, why? Always ask the question, why? The question is, why? Why would they vote for him? Knowing exactly what he stood for. Now, let's be clear. I voted for him because I knew exactly what I wanted, and I'm getting exactly what I wanted. And I'm willing to deal with whatever comes with it because the benefit of what everybody's dealing with is not outweighed by the benefit that I receive. Nevertheless, now they're suffering. Now, why do they suddenly expect black Americans to step in? And let's cut the excuses. This was not about ignorance. It was not about misinformation. It was about calculated decisions, a decision rooted in a racial hierarchy that has existed for centuries in Latin America. Shout out to Red Dragon. Thank you for being the first person to contribute to the super chat. If you learned something, contribute to the super chat. I don't expect you to do anything for me for free. I've earned everything I got and get. But if you learn something, I expect you to pay for that service. You got to pay for quality. Nevertheless, shout out to LaShawn Jones. Thank you, baby girl. I appreciate you. You've been coming here repeatedly. I won't let you down. But here's the other thing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already. Do that for me. I appreciate if you would do that. I want to march towards 100,000. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you like what you hear, make sure you hit the like button. Now, let's go back to this calculated decision that was made. A decision that was rooted in a racial hierarchy that has existed for centuries in Latin America. A decision based on the deeply ingrained belief that whiteness is power, that the proximity to whiteness is the key to success. And that black folks, you know, like most of y'all, whether in the United States or the Caribbean or Latin America, is expendable. But now, right now, they're learning the hard way that whiteness does not include them. And as they cry and beg for help, we're here to ask a simple question. Why should we save you? Now, here's the thing I need you all to understand. And, you know, like I always do, I got that proof that I need. But first, I want to run some stuff down to you. Now, white adjacency factor, many may not know what that is, but this is a history of betrayal. If you want to understand why so many Latinos supported Trump, you have to understand blanqueamiento. That's called the whitening, or mejor la raza. That calls bettering. That means bettering the race. Okay, but these are policies that have shaped their countries for over a century, and this isn't just about a preference. This is about a government-backed policy. Okay, that was designed to erase black and indigenous people from Latin American societies. I'm talking about the people that were there before the Spaniards arrived and conquered it. Indigenous people, they're still there. Shout out to Johnny Harris. Dark, brown, short people. Okay? Let's take, for instance, Argentina. The government actively encouraged European immigration while erasing its population of black people. In 1778, black people made up 30% of Buenos Aires, but today they're less than 1%. And the myth that there are no black people in Argentina is a direct result of state-sponsored genocide and racial cleansing. They literally allowed the black neighborhoods and communities to be overwrought with diseases. They literally would put the black people on the front lines to be slaughtered in war. This is what they did. And you can't tell me that the people who comes from that culture won't be affected. A lot of the Yahtzees after World War II migrated to South America, Argentina being one of the places that was top on their list. Let's talk about Brazil. After slavery ended in 1888, that was over 20 years after slavery ended in the United States because of a war. The government launched a campaign to bring in white European immigrants and encourage Black people to disappear through interracial marriage. And that's an example of mejor la raza, or improving the race. By bringing in whites and eliminating Blackness, they consider that improving the race. That's Brazil. Now in Mexico, and keep in mind, Brazil has the largest concentration of people of African descent outside of Africa. So keep that in mind. Now in Mexico, okay, under President Diaz, who was the president from 1876 to 1911, he heavily promoted European immigration and sought to dismiss the influence of Afro-Mexicans and indigenous groups. Okay, keep in mind that Africans oftentimes went to Mexico as opposed to running all the way to the north and the free states and Canada and the free territories. So there is a population of Afro-Mexicans. But today, despite the significant population in Veracruz or Ixtapa, many Mexicans still refuse to acknowledge their African heritage. In Venezuela, that same country that has been sending folk here, emptying out their jails and sending their folks up here, Venezuela in 2013, a Swedish study identified it as the most racist country in all of the Americas, even more so than the United States. I want you to think about that. Shout out to Actual Proof. These are the people that are coming up here, taking over apartment complexes in Colorado. Venezuela, 2013 Swedish study, the most racist country in all of the Americas, followed by the Dominican Republic, where in 2013, the Supreme Court stripped the citizenship from thousands of people from Haitian descent, leaving them stateless. They might have been living there their whole life, never even been to Jamaica, or never even been to Haiti. And now they don't even have citizenship. See, this isn't ancient history. This persists today. The concept of mejor la raza is still deeply embedded in Latino culture. And if you ask any Afro-Latino about the pressure to marry someone lighter skinned, it's there. Watch these Spanish language televisions and count how many dark-skinned people you see. The only roles that they play are slaves and servants. And notice how in many Latin American countries, the wealthiest families all have European ancestry that they're proud of, and they're oftentimes of lighter skin, while the poorest communities are overwhelmingly indigenous and Afro descent. And yet, despite centuries of discrimination against their own Black indigenous populations, these white and white adjacent Latinos still believe they come to the United States and can be accepted as white. Okay? So the question you have to ask yourself is, why did they vote for Donald Trump? But before we get to that, I got some footage I need to show you all. You understand? Y'all make sure y'all hit the #1 button when you start learning something. Make sure you subscribe to the channel when you start learning something. I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give it the play-by-play. Let's praise Moses. Let's take a look at some of these videos here. Let's start here. I want y'all to look at, there we go. All right. Yes, Lord. I know. Yeah. Mom got deported. Y'all voted 60%. Y'all voted for Trump 60%, though. I mean, you voted for Trump 60%, right?
What did ICE officials tell you?
They
Yeah, 60%. Type 60% in the
They
chat room.
deny my application. I have to leave by August the 3rd.
Yep. 60%. That's right. There you go.
And now they deported me. They kicked me out.
Deporting you, baby.
And they breaking my family apart. Before you enlist in the military, think it twice. Before you marry an immigrant, think it twice.
Oh, before you come to the country legally.
If it's really worth for you to sell this country.
I thought you.
Because look how they treated me.
Well, you came to the country legally.
I'm ashamed of it. I know I did something wrong.
You did.
And, did I regret it? I have to say yes, but
you
at the
didn't
same
regret
time,
it until you got caught.
I seriously thought that was the only exit out of the situation that I was living in.
So you fled your country and came to the U.S. illegally. That's what
I think that saved my life.
Okay,
you know?
well, good. Well, we're gonna
I've
happy
been
we
reporting
saved your
this for
life.
the last 5 years.
We happy we saved your life for the past 5 years. We happy about that. That's a good thing. Shout out to all the people in the USA. We saved a life. We saved a life. Everybody out there, give a hand clap. We saved a life.
2013, and every time I go there, they say, Ms. Juarez, prior to this administration taking over, they say, Ms. Juarez, you're not a priority. Don't worry.
They lied to you.
You're low profile. You were a military spouse.
Yeah,
President Donald Trump has said many times that he loves our military.
Yeah, when you were American citizen. Yeah.
So my husband, when he ran his campaign, he mentioned how much he loves the military. And every time he has opportunity, he's laid out and said, I love our military.
Well, good.
So when he was
you
running
stay,
for
you
president,
can go.
you know, I told my husband, I'm like, are you sure you want to vote Republican?
So your husband, hold on a minute.
Like,
So your husband voted for Trump? Is that what you say? Your husband voted for Trump, and now you getting deported by Trump. Is that what you're saying? Hold on a minute. That does not sound like unity.
Voted for him, and now he's deporting his wife. I love this country.
That sounds about white to me. Sounds
this
about
country
white.
has given me great things because we have worked hard. But then
somebody type work hard in the chat room. Somebody type work hard. She worked hard, and the country gave her nice things. So kudos to her. She worked hard.
America that we are living now is getting full of hate.
Working hard didn't save them though. She didn't save you that deportation trip.
If you look different, if you don't speak English, if you speak English with an accent, then
if you speak English with an accent, then we know you're not from the United States of America, and that makes you easily targeted by ICE. That's what that does.
You're an immigrant, and then
that's how we know. Just like the color of our skin lets people know that we're black. It's called discrimination. It's like the American pastime. It's right there with baseball and apple pie. Praise God.
Good person. So, it's heartbroken to see the America that this has become.
What it's the same America that black people have been telling you it's been for the past 500 years. I mean, it's Black History Month. It's all around right now. Do you know we were enslaved? Did you know that? I mean, America had changed. You just didn't believe us. You see what I'm saying? You didn't believe all black people. Didn't they have something back in the day that said, believe all women, believe all black people? We told you. We told you what America was. Okay? We did. You didn't listen. You didn't listen.
But, there's a future. I mean, it can be changed.
It's not going to change.
So there's hope.
No, it's not going to change. It's not going to change.
Mexico around Pamela's age for many reasons. And the dreams or hopes that I always have for her are here. Okay, I wouldn't put her in the same situation that I left Mexico. But, Stella, if I could, I will have, I could live it here.
Well, baby, now your husband voted for Trump. Okay? So you can't blame us because, see, 92% of black women and 79% of black men voted for Kamala Harris, this wouldn't have been happening. Now, I didn't, because I don't really care like they do. Most black, they're caring, loving people. Not me, though, okay? Not me. I don't care. I don't really have a heart like that for you, okay? I was more focused on my taxes and keeping them low. But the rest of the black people, the wonderful, beautiful, loving, caring black people that y'all always have things to say bad about, they're the ones that tried to save you. Not me, though. Not me. I just want to be clear. Trump, 2024, I'm with that. All right? So not me, but the rest of the black people out there. Shout out to all the loving, caring black people that tried to save these people from having their families separated and screamed and hollered to vote for Kamala Harris, who I didn't vote for because I wasn't, okay? But the rest of them, shout out to them. Y'all are good people. Beautiful, nice, kind people.
It hurts me, but she's too young.
Mm-hmm.
She can't take care of herself.
It makes me feel extremely sad, mainly because I tell my mom everything, and she always supports
me. You can still tell her everything. They got WhatsApp. They got internet down there.
Supports me.
Get up on that
She's
iPhone.
Always there for me, no matter what. And she's helped me throughout so many things in my life. And now that I'm getting older, I'm gonna have more problems and issues that I'm gonna need help with. And I want my mom to be there with me.
But you can go down there to Mexico with her, baby. You can go to Mexico with your mom.
I don't really want to go to Mexico, but I know I need to go because I'm too young, and also I want to go for my mom's support.
Your daddy gonna be sending money too, so you're gonna be all right, baby.
Because I don't want her to be lonely.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right.
Mainly to the president, I would tell him that I know my mom made a mistake and it was wrong, but he said he was.
Now your daddy made a mistake too, baby girl, because your dad voted for Donald Trump, who put in place the policy, which is now telling your mommy to go home. Okay, keep that in mind. So you need to talk to daddy too. Okay, they need to be more unified. All right, in their decisions. Just want you to know, but you're doing all right. Go ahead.
To deport criminals. My mom is not a criminal. She is.
Your mommy broke the law, sweetness. Your mommy broke the law when she came to the country illegally. She apologized. She knew she was wrong. Okay, and even though she's not a criminal, remember, Donald Trump lied to her. Okay, he didn't lie to me because being here in America, we've learned not to trust white folk like that. You know what I'm saying? We kind of like, yeah, all right. That's why most of the black people that care, 92% of black women, somebody type 92, is the 92% in here represented? All the 92%ers, all y'all, they voted for Donald Trump. I mean, they voted for Kamala Harris. Y'all didn't want her to win, okay, because, y'all are a little bit racist, you're a little adjacent racist. So, your tears, you gotta talk to dad. You gotta have that conversation with dad. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. Let's continue.
Mama, see that?
No.
I need y'all to put the MAGA hats back on. I need y'all to wear that MAGA
Put
shit
the MAGA hats
as hard
back
as
on.
y'all was wearing it for the election. I need y'all to put it back on.
Latinos for Trump.
Back on,
Put them
man.
back on.
Chin up. Chest out a little bit.
Yeah, y'all knew y'all had mixed status families in the house, and y'all still voted for Trump. You did. Okay, this is the 92% talking. Shout out to all the 92%ers up in here.
Y'all took y'all ass and them hats and them jackets and them sweaters and them fines and winning them polls and
sweaters and everything.
Yeah, go be mad at your brothers and your
be
fathers.
mad at your husbands. It's a little bit of patriarchy in there too.
Cousins. And your business owners, your estheticians, and your nail techs.
Yeah.
That's who voted for them. Thought they was doing something cute.
They did.
I had a lady tell me her man was undocumented, and she didn't give a damn if they came and took him. She's probably regretting that statement right now. Yeah, because they on y'all necks.
They on your neck. They are on your necks right now. The sister's she's not lying. They are on your necks, okay? I just want you to know.
Is crying over deportations of illegals Filipino from USA, she says. Wish I could do something, but I can't.
You're a billionaire, baby.
Children.
No.
They don't understand.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't.
You're a billionaire.
I don't know what to do.
You can pay for them to go
I'll try
home.
everything I've.
You can set up a house situation for them. You can do a lot. You can do a lot. You got money. You can help your people. You know what I'm saying? You can help your people.
I'm struggling a lot today. You know, seeing all these videos of the hate going around with this mass deportation. And it hurts my heart because, you know, you voted for who you voted for.
And clearly you voted for Trump. When you say you voted for who you voted for, that means you voted for this. Okay? You voted for who you voted for. You were one of the 60%ers that voted for Donald Trump. He said what he was going to do.
But why so much hate?
No, it's not hate. It's we told you so. That not me. Again, I voted for Trump. I expected this. I'm just saying I vote my interest. Shout out to Johnny Harris. But you voted for who you voted for.
You know, like how can you mock the kids that are losing their parents? Or the parents that are losing their kids?
Did you vote for Donald Trump? Tune to 60%. The Latino. Did y'all vote for Donald Trump? Because it's not mocking, it's just reminding you of what you did. Okay.
You know, living in constant fear for what may happen to your friends and your family, and even people that
you didn't think that he was going. He said, "I'm going to deport illegal aliens." He said, "I'm going to deport people that are not supposed to be in this country." You didn't think about them kids beforehand?
See, on social media, it hurts. It hurts. Because why is there so much hate?
It's not hate, baby. They're telling you, we told you so. And the most black folk are doing saying we're resting. Especially black women, we're resting what they told.
You know, why do you have to be this way?
Why did you have to vote for Donald Trump and you knew he was going to do you this way? You hopped up in there with a bear cat and you wonder why you got scratched. Oh, come on.
It's kind of silly.
You crying too.
Literally setting up to celebrate my mom's birthday for today.
I know.
And I'm grateful that I'm able to celebrate it with her. And I'm glad that everything worked out when she came over here.
Okay. All right.
I can't imagine what these people are going through.
Yeah.
My mom means everything to me, and I know other people feel that way about their parents.
But the thing is, man, folk voted for her sick. You voted for Donald Trump to the tune of 60% of y'all. Y'all didn't think about that ahead of time. I wonder what it could have been.
My mom means everything to me, and I know other people feel that way about their parents.
Everybody feels that way about their parents.
I'm sorry for this random emotional video. I never talk about politics and stuff on here, but I just feel bad for all of these people, man. This fucking.
But y'all voted for him 60%. You see, that's the problem. You voted for this man 60%. Okay.
Just wanted to say that I'm so sorry. All my people are getting attacked. The children. They don't understand.
No.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know.
You can pay for the kids. You can do that.
I'll
Yeah,
try
look, what about this? Where's this
everything.
energy at? I want to know where this energy is. Where is this energy?
Mr. Trump, we love you.
Where's that energy at? That same energy.
All the way to the White House.
A few moments later.
Around Monday, Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
More than betrayed. Beyond betrayed.
He didn't betray you. He said he was going to do mass deportation. Where's that same energy from before? Huh? Where's that energy from before?
They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
Okay, so I want you all to listen carefully. He wasn't going to touch the documented people. Cold word. Okay, so who is he going to touch? Huh? You thought you was a special little snowflake? Let's listen to Praise God.
I don't want to cry anymore. I'm tired of hurting. But
affected so much of my mental health.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be weak and cry about it, but sometimes I hold everything and this happens.
Now, I just want you to understand, baby, those tears are delicious. Your little oppressed tears are delicious to the oppressor. This is not making the situation better. Nobody's coming to save you.
And I don't have anyone to really talk about it because I feel like I talk about it so much.
What's up, y'all? Welcome.
Yeah. But where's that energy, though? Where's that same energy that y'all had? Y'all was voting for old buddy. That's what I want to know. Where's that
A
at?
few moments later.
I'm scared for your friends that are undocumented, for your parents, for your siblings, for your family. How does that not bother you?
60% of y'all voted for Trump.
Just tell me how. How could you walk up there and vote for him after everything he said he was going to do?
He did. He said he told you people.
Because you were born here.
Now, you might not have been one of the ones that voted. Maybe y'all need to work on y'all unity in y'all population. I'm just saying, okay?
You're not going to go through it. He doesn't like you.
They didn't know.
When are you going to understand that?
They want to be adjacent to white people. That's why they just saw past that, okay?
Like, it's so scary.
It should be.
Scary.
It should be.
To know that just at any given moment, you can just be separated from your family. And there's nothing you can do.
That's what he said he was going to do, baby. He said he was going to do it. He said he was going to do it.
Who knows?
He did say he was going to do it. You can't say he lied to you. He said exactly what he was going to do, and he's doing it right now, okay? He's doing it right now. You can't be mad at the man, all right? Got kids,
No, the Hispanic people are not doing nothing bad. They're not stealing nothing. I can't do nothing but please open the door for the parents.
No, baby, but they came to our country illegally. That's what happened. And it's not your fault. You're a baby. Okay, we love the kids, but it's not your fault. But your parents came to the country illegally. Okay. We have laws, and when you become a grown-up, you understand. Okay.
Stuck over there in jail. I'm not gonna have nothing. It's the first day of school for me. My dad bought everything for me to live over here. The rent, and I don't know what I'm gonna eat.
I know, but it's your parents' fault, sweetness, because they brought you here illegally, and they came illegally, and now they're being subjected to the law of the land. And it's not your fault. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you the truth. Be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, that's not what I do. Shout out to Alonzo Dunn. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of little kids out there like you, but you know, it's safe if you go and stay with your family back home. Okay, you're not the only one. There's a lot of little children around the world right now having to get reacquainted with their family in Africa, Jamaica. Okay, a couple of white people got sent back. All right, not just you, sweetness, not just you, not at all.
I'm so lonely right now. I need my dad for me. My dad didn't do nothing. He's not a criminal. So the government, please put your heart.
The government doesn't have a heart. Okay, the government made it legal to target black people in the black community and put them in jail for 40 or 50 years in the 1990s. It was called the Three Strikes Law. Okay, before that, they had something called Jim Crow. All right, and for 100 years, if a black man was walking on the sidewalk, they'll put him in prison for half a dozen years. Okay, They would do that to us. All right, that's what the government say. Before that, the government made it legal to keep black people as slaves for over 250 years. So the government has no heart, baby, especially this government. They don't care about you.
Parent, be free with everybody else, please. Don't leave the child with cryness and everything.
Yes. Well, baby, I understand, and you know, I understand your tears, okay? But what you want me to do about it?
I owe you an apology. You want me to take back some of those mean and hurtful little things I said? Okay. I'm sorry you're just a little turd that can't hold your liquid out in public. And you get on out in my face while I pick you up and toss you out that window.
Well, you know, there's a thought. There's a thought. We have to just you know, keep listening. Now, all of these tears, I want to remind you all that 60% of Latinos voted for Donald Trump. I have to ask myself, why? Why would you vote for this man?
And it's usually an hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a talk. Well, first they were talking about how if I wanted to work for them, they own a business, so sometimes I help them. But now I live on my own, and I live in the city, so
Everybody got sent home
and everything. So they offered me to work for them, and then it went to talk about. Honestly, I'm so scared.
This is a scary time. It's a scary time.
I honestly don't know how I didn't crash the car on the way back home. They were saying that if si me agarran uno de nosotros and we get y nos mandan para México, we're gonna put you in charge for your brother.
Yeah.
I have a little brother. He's only 5.
So your parents got deported, and now you have to be in charge.
Going to have custody if anything happens to us.
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure for a young lady. It's a lot of pressure.
I don't know. I didn't cry in front of them because...
That's good, but you crying in front of us.
They're very hard.
You crying in front of us. You didn't cry in front of the immigration officials, but you crying on the internet, so they probably know about it.
Working and home. So most of the time it was just me and my brother, my other brother, the middle child. And I'm the oldest, so I took care of a lot of things like making food whenever my parents came back from work and stuff. So I tend to be very independent, and I don't like relying on other people.
That's good. You're gonna need to be independent, but we're gonna go ahead and because we got to move on. But I'm glad that I'm gonna let. What else? What you gonna say?
So I'm so angry at the world.
I'm angry for you.
And y'all can be like, oh well, it's not that personal, blah blah blah. Yes, it fucking is.
Yeah, I know it's personal, but
your family is not getting torn apart. It's our family who's
no, mine is not either. No, it's not.
Now I have to worry about.
But as a black person, I do understand what it's like to have your family torn apart. It's just we did that a couple of 100 years ago, okay? But actually, because of the war on drugs, where black men were over incarcerated and taken from, we still had to deal with that, okay? So we understand.
At the end of the day, I was the one who took care of him when he was a baby.
Yeah, shout out to Blue Marble. But the thing you have to understand is
I know what
Folks,
he likes.
You know, your people, 60% voted for Donald Trump. And this is what he said he was going to do, baby. Okay?
I know the things that he gets upset about. I'm practically like his second mother to him.
Shout out to Tammy Chaos.
I shouldn't be worrying about this. I should be worrying about like if I end up I don't know, like being pregnant or something else.
But we don't want you to get pregnant. You got to take care of your little brother. Okay? You can't get pregnant. You can't be a teenager anymore. You got to be you got to take care of your little brother. That's a lot of responsibility. And I promise you, you're not the only one, because there's been lots of Black people who've had to be separated from their parents, and they've been raised by their sisters and their aunties and such. We experienced that. And that's why 92% of Black women voted for Kamala Harris, because had Kamala Harris won, this wouldn't be happening right now. Okay, even 79% of Black men voted for Kamala Harris, and that's more than any other group of men. So we Black people did our best. Okay, we did our best. All right.
So bad at the world. I have so much rage in me. I don't know what to do with it.
You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it, baby.
Spread out that this shit is very personal to us. It's
I know.
Something that you can just make fun of, because
I'm not making fun of you.
If your family was the one who was being taken away, you would not be fucking laughing.
Well, I actually have the paperwork where my family was sold to a gentleman in Mississippi. Okay. I actually have the documentation. My whole family was sold from one group of people to another group of people. So I have the documentation. I pulled it up before. So yeah, we understand that. Okay. We understand that.
I just hope that this video makes a difference, or makes some part of a difference, because as much as I hate crying in front of people, and especially
well, you doing it well. You crying in front of people
through social media. I just like every day is getting harder to.
I know.
It's just getting harder to live.
I know, baby. It's hard.
It's so hard because I have another stress to worry about, and it's just stress on top of stress.
Your little brother, you gotta worry about your little brother. I know.
Stress, like I'm already stressed about making sure I have enough money for rent.
Ooh, you gotta pay rent too. Ooh, you gotta grow up quick.
I'm already stressed about making sure, like, fucking prices.
Now I want you to keep that in mind. Your family, 60% of your Latino family voted for Donald Trump. Why did they do that, knowing that this would happen? Why?
It's going up because his bitch ass wants to put up a fit.
Now you can't be calling our president these foul names, young lady. You watch your mouth. Okay, you can't be around here, saying mean words like that. You watch that mouth, but go ahead and express yourself. I understand the passion, but go ahead. Go ahead. Tell us.
I don't know what to expect anymore. I just I hope to strong enough to handle whatever comes next.
We wish you well. We've been there.
And I still
need them. I know you do. You can hit them up. But we've been there. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people don't empathize with you, and a lot of folks have some rough things.
They have a house in Mexico and everything.
They got a house in Mexico. That's good. You go visit them. You can go visit them in Mexico.
Because of prices going so fucking high this year. And not only that, but also work.
Work, right.
Like how like
anyway,
everyone has the
you go ahead and talk about it. Work that out.
Give a shit, okay? It took my dad 10 years to come to this country.
You don't care.
Legally. He did everything by the book.
You just gonna say that? You heard the little girl crying like that, now you just don't even give it. Really, you just come out the box with that?
100%. I don't give a shit, okay?
That's rough. How you just gonna say that about the girl? She crying. Didn't you see her crying?
It took my dad 10 years to come to this country. Legally, he did everything by the book. And obviously, if we're gonna...
Everybody is not like your dad, okay? Let's not compare, okay, other people's plight. You don't know. Everybody has a different path, all right? So, Don't be horrible like that. Be a little bit more understanding.
Let people in, that's fine. Just do it the right way, like everybody.
You sound so pull yourself up by the bootstrap. I bet you one of those people that say work hard. Somebody type work hard in the chat room.
Everybody else did. Okay, just follow the rules.
Follow the rules. Yeah, follow the rules. Comply, right? We get it. Okay, let's see what else.
That's what we're talking about today. Now, when she got on her yesterday, she was crying. And when I say I really felt like, I really like felt where she was coming from. Heartfelt. But it's only so much you can do for people
who vote for the man that said he was going to deport them, right?
That don't want to help themselves.
No.
Because you can get out as celebrities and tell them to vote. And I think she did that. Telling her people to get out and vote, this, and that. But my thing is, now we're seeing so many, I seen so many videos yesterday of ICE busting into people's houses, 10, 12 cars deep.
Yeah.
Snatching all those people out and getting ready.
But they voted for that. This is what they voted for. This is what they asked for, 60%. Somebody typed 60% in the chat room.
Ship them off and send them back. And that's what she was initially crying for, those videos she had seen as well as the videos I seen. But my thing is, your people or the ones of your people that could vote, they voted for Trump.
They did.
They didn't want to help themselves. So the fact that she feel bad and crying and all of that, you shouldn't feel bad because they didn't even want to help themselves.
Yeah, and there was a comment that said that black people are horrible. But black people voted for Kamala Harris. Okay, black people, over 86% of black people, if you count the men and the women, voted for Kamala Harris. 60% of Latinos voted for this result that you're getting right now. So who's horrible?
Because they all voted for him, thinking he was going to, not ship them off and not do what the fuck he said he was going to do.
See, they thought that their whiteness, okay, or their proximity to whiteness would save them. That's what they thought, sister. That's what they thought.
And not stand on business. Baby, he's a businessman. So, of course, he's going to stand on business.
Right, yes.
He wouldn't have got this far if he didn't stand on business.
Exactly.
So, yeah, whatever he said he was going to do, he's going to try his best in his power to do it.
Yep.
And that's where they got that misconstrued. I seen one lady say, what did she say? She was like, he promised us this and that. That man never said that. Show me the video. He never said that. Out of 16 months of campaigning and everything he said he was going to do, 2025 rollout, everything, he never said he.
But they didn't think he was going to come after them because they are light. Okay, not white, but light. That's what they thought. Okay, that's what they thought.
Wasn't going to deport anybody. He literally, on the day that everybody was voting on election day, was when they dropped the thing that said his first day of presidency, he's signing the bill to be able to start shipping off a mass deportation. So no, he never said that he wasn't going to do that. No, y'all thought and was hoping and praying. Ooh,
they thought that he was talking about somebody else. I wonder who they thought he was talking about. Criminals, he said that, but who else? Somebody typed, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs in the chat room.
We vote and get him in there, he'll see the numbers and see that, we the ones that voted and put him in there. He ain't gonna deport us. No, bitches, you look like shit.
Yeah.
And he finna deport y'all funk ass back where y'all came from.
Yes, Lord. Go ahead.
Somebody got to beat Selena Gomez's ass. I don't know who. Somebody. Bitch, net worth is over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. And you're boohoo crying on people's phone screens about deportation and what can you do? I wish I could do something. Oh, I got something you could do. Bitch, it's time to sell that discography, start paying for some citizenships. The fuck? Alex Russo, get it the fuck together. Somebody got to beat Selena.
There you.
Yeah, that we starting to, I don't know. We did what we were supposed to do. You kind of gotta take a little accountability up in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I'm so sorry. Only people are getting attacked.
Yes, Lord.
Children. They don't understand.
We
I'm
understand.
so sorry. I wish
You've
I
been
could
telling
do
us.
something, but I can't.
We
I don't
understand. You
know
made us
what
understand.
to
You
do.
did.
I'll try everything.
Whew. Yeah. You made us
So
understand.
that is the billionaire Selena Gomez, and she wants to help, but with all of her billions and her resources, apparently she has no idea where to start or how to get started. Now, here's the thing. I'm also a Latino, just like she is. I'm not crying. I am not crying for all the people who are getting deported. There's a reason why they are called illegal immigrants. And I'll give you a hint. It's the first part of those two words, illegal. They're not.
Now, I want you to understand something. Black people are supposed to be mean, but you got Latinos out here jumping on top of other Latinos for what they did and proud of their vote. So are we really the mean? Y'all have some, y'all not even on the same page. Let's keep
not supposed to be in the country. And the backlash she got for that video was so bad, she took the video down. No one agreed with her. And in my opinion, that is selective outrage. And I recently went over to a family member's place and they were talking about the same thing. Oh, you know, these poor people, they're being, you know, taken from their home. What homes? They're there illegally. What are you talking about? And guess what channel it was? CNN. And they're trying, what CNN tries to do, in my opinion, is create this pity party because it falls on the left's agenda. It doesn't fall. They don't agree with what Donald Trump is doing. And so they try painting everything in this negative light when he's simply bringing law and order. And take this from an immigrant who's from El Salvador. I was born in El Salvador. My people are being targeted as well. Am I online crying? No. If they do not have the paperwork, they are illegal. Guess what? They're going home. It's simple. Like, I cannot expect to have a life, earn a living, take the benefits from.
Sir, I just want you to know you're being mean. Okay, you're being a horrible person, sir. It just sounds pretty horrible. Shout out to Steph Cam. I'm gonna read all the super chats in a minute. You're being a little mean to your Latino people. Okay,
a certain country, but knowingly break their law by just being there. Like, why is that such a hard concept to grasp? So enough of the pity parties. You have to keep in mind, Donald Trump won by, from a county level, a landslide. He turned so many counties into Republican from Democrat.
If I was just listening to this person, he sounds very white. Doesn't he sound like he's white? He sounds like he's trying very hard to be white. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay,
to Republican. This is what the election map actually looks like. I'm not making this stuff up, and it's so good, it's being sold on Etsy for the 2024 election result. The reason I'm showing you that is he has a mandate. Deportation, secure borders, that was one of his main promises. He's literally doing what he said he was going to do and what the majority of Americans want.
And they voted for him, and he said what he was going to do. That's why I don't know why you crying now. You crying now. I mean, I don't get it.
So why are we crying about this? That's what I find so funny. It's hilarious.
He thinks it's hilarious. Like, it's sad. It truly is sad. You know, I'm just saying.
Billionaire, and you're crying. Truthfully, if it mattered that much, her and a bunch of her friends throw in $5 million each. It's not a big deal. With 20 of you, that's $100 million. Help them get their paperwork. Put your money where your mouth is, or keep your mouth shut.
All right. Okay. What else we got?
Leaders who are going online after their following counts are starting to tank and say that I didn't know Trump was going to bring ICE and start deporting all these people. Because yes, he did. He literally ran on that on his entire campaign trail. Even when he was asked questions that didn't relate to immigration, he found a way to tie it back to his mass deportation plan. He said time and time again that on day one, he was going to initiate the largest mass deportation. He literally had mass deportation right at the top of his website for one of his campaign promises. The difference was that they didn't care at the time because it wasn't affecting their following count. So do not believe these creators who are now doubling down on their support for him. And then hiding behind the excuse that they didn't know. Because yes, you did, you just did not.
Shout out to Zay's story. Yeah, they obviously knew. They knew what they were doing. Now they're trying to save face because it's a backlash because you all weren't unified. Okay, that's what happened. You had one group of people that said, oh, we're going to vote for Trump. And you had another group of people that said, don't do it. And now the people that said don't do it and the people that voted for Trump are having to suffer the consequences. Okay, now on the flip side, Black folks that love and care about people, not me though, but the Black folks that care and love people voted for Kamala Harris because they didn't want to see you all have to suffer through this because Black folks had to suffer through this. Now, me, on the other hand, I don't really care. Okay, maybe I'm mean I don't know, probably so. Been like this for a long time, but I'm more interested in my money and my taxes low and a secure border and no wars, okay, as opposed to your tears, okay? But the other Black people, the wonderful, caring, loving Black people that everybody always talks bad about, you know, you say we don't have any culture, we're mean, our women are masculine and aggressive, and our men are criminal-minded. Those Black people cared about you. And so 92% of the women and 79% of the men, for a total of 86% of Black people, voted for Kamala Harris, and this wouldn't be happening to you. Okay? Again, not me. I voted for Trump. I would do it again and again and again. Okay? Because I don't care. But the loving, wonderful Black people, not anybody in my audience, because they clearly mean. I can see it now by the comments. They don't really have any sympathy. But the normal Black people that love and care, they voted for Kamala Harris. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to continue.
Did not care. And if the creator really didn't know, then that means they were so uneducated that they didn't even bother to do the proper research.
No, they knew, baby. It's not that they're not educated. They knew exactly what he said he was going to do. You don't even have to, a baby can understand what Donald Trump was going to do. we understood that. He was going to make America great again. All right? Making it, that means getting it back to how it was back in the day. Okay? When it was just some Black folks and some white folks making money over here. All right, wasn't perfect, but that's what he wants to get back to. But it's not an education thing. They knew what they were doing. They just thought it didn't apply to them. That's
during this campaign, which means they probably shouldn't have been speaking about politics to begin with. They knew. Okay, they knew.
They knew. I do agree. They did know. Now, here's the cold part about it. I need you all to understand. I don't know why. Why Latinos acting like they're surprised when they voted for Trump? I mean, the reality is many of them didn't think that this deportation policy would apply to them. And that's just the truth. See, in their minds, he was talking about Haitians. He was talking about Central Americans with indigenous features. He was talking about Afro-Caribbean immigrants. See, Trump ran on the campaign built on racial scapegoating. That's why most Black folks caught that. That's why they didn't vote for him. However, many Latinos, they were confident that they would be spared. They believed, okay, they had it made. Their proof of acceptance was a red MAGA hat, right? Their proof of white adjacency was a vote for Trump. But now reality is him. That very system they upheld has turned on them. And now they're looking for allies. And who do they turn to? Us. Now, here's the thing you got to understand. This is a miscalculation of the deportation, policy, right? We got to cut through the noise. Latinos voted for Trump in 2024, and they weren't just making a political choice, they were making a racial one. And this was never about policy, economy, or the so-called family values. This was about proving themselves, about throwing their lot in with whiteness and convinced that their allegiance would buy them a seat at the table of white America. But here's the problem. Whiteness is not something you can apply for. It's not something you earn through loyalty. It is a birthright, and it's built to exclude. And now they're learning the hard way that their brown skin, their yellow skin, their racha colored skin, and their Spanish surnames are always going to keep them on the outside looking in. Now, some have tried to argue that Latino Trump voters didn't know any better and that they were tricked and misled. And that's just a straight up, all the way out mischaracterization, a lie, if you will. They knew exactly what they were doing. Trump's campaign wasn't subtle. His rhetoric was not vague. He made it explicit that he wanted mass deportations to eliminate asylum and stop immigration from undesirables, which means non-white nations. So why did these Latinos think they were safe? Because in their minds, Trump wasn't talking about them. He was talking about Haitians. He was talking about more ethnic. And see, understand this, when many Latinos think about immigration, they don't see themselves as a problem. They don't think of their undocumented family members or their neighbors, their own people. They don't see that. They see Black immigrants. They see indigenous immigrants. They see criminals, right? They see the same. They see the same people they've looked down upon in their own countries for centuries, and they assume that when Trump ranted about criminals, about so-called worse people coming to the U.S., he was talking about dark-skinned ones, the ones with African features, the ones who don't pass the white adjacency test as far as they're concerned. Trump's campaign was masterful. He played them on their racial prejudices. And when he recycled that old racist trope about migrants eating the dogs and eating the cats, that wasn't just some bizarre accusation. That was a dog whistle, and it was loud and clear. Shout out to my man Blue Baggins. It meant to invoke disgust, to dehumanize, and to signal that certain immigrants, particularly Black and indigenous ones, were not fit to be here. And the Latino for Trump voters ate it up. They laughed, they nodded, they repeated it because they thought it wasn't about them. Now, the thing is, you have to understand, Haitians and people of color, especially dark skin, they're always an unspoken target. Okay? If you want to understand the true racial dynamics at play, you have to understand who Haitians are and why they were the unspoken target of Trump's deportation. Haiti was the first Black republic in the world, and it's the only nation in history where enslaved Africans successfully overthrew their oppressors and established their own country. The Haitian Revolution that took place between 1791 and 1804, Tariq Nasheed put out a video some years back about the Haitian Revolution. You should check it out. It was very interesting. But nevertheless, that revolt sent shockwaves of fear through every slave-owning society, including here in the United States. It ran a lot of those slave owners in the Caribbean up to North Carolina and South Carolina. I mean, the very idea that Black people could rise up and govern themselves was an existential threat to white supremacy. And white America never forgave them for that. And from that moment, Haiti gained independence. The Western world punished it. France forced it to pay reparations to the very people who enslaved them. And the U.S. refused to recognize Haiti as a nation until 1862. That's nearly 60 years later. The economic warfare against Haiti, it's never stopped. And from the American occupation in Haiti from 1915 to 1934 to the racist media portrayal of Haitians as a disease-ridden, criminal, subhuman group of people, and the goal has always been to erase and vilify Haiti's Blackness. Even in the 21st century, the mistreatment of Haitian continues. Look what happened in 2021. You had a U.S. Border Patrol agent on horseback, and he was photographed. They say he was trying to whip a Haitian migrant at the border. Okay, that's what it looked like. And images look, it ripped straight to the days of slavery. You see, maybe it was a lasso, maybe it was a whip, I don't know. But that's the image. And in 2022, under the Biden administration, more than 25,000 Haitians were deported. And many of them sent back to their country. They hadn't seen it in decades. Some of them were sent back in chains. And under Trump, the attacks on Haiti were constant, even back then. He called it a SHIT, whole country. He made it clear the Haitians were not welcome, and he specifically ended the TPS, temporary protective status for Haitians, which would have sent out, which is going to send thousands back to an economic, shout out to James Harper, to an economically devastated, political, and unstable country. But here's the kicker, and I want y'all to understand this. Latinos for Trump didn't care about that, did they? That 60% didn't care because they assumed they would be safe. They believed that when Trump talked about deporting the bad hombres, when he called immigrants criminals, he made it clear that he wanted mass removals. He did that. He was talking about, they thought he was talking about the darkest, the blackest, the most African people in the immigrant community, and the indigenous, of course. See, they thought they had finally made it. Because see, for years, white adjacent Latinos have chased this illusion of full acceptance into whiteness. They have bought into blanqueamiento. All right, shout out to Yasha Ben Joseph. And the belief that if they marry lighter, they raise their kids, they reject blackness, and they align themselves with white America, then they will eventually be seen as equals. In their minds, wearing a MAGA hat was a golden ticket. It was their proof of allegiance, their way of saying, we're not like those others. We're the good ones. We're the ones who should be allowed to stay. They truly believed that when the crackdowns came, they would be spared. That ICE would pass over their houses, much like the angels of death passed over the chosen people, how the Jewish people in Egypt. All they had to do was put that mark, right? But white America doesn't work like that. The moment you are no longer useful, the moment you stop serving their interests, you're just another disposable immigrant. It happened to black folks. They've been trying to get rid of us since we stopped working for free. You understand what I'm saying? And this is exactly what happened. And now they're realizing what we've always known. And that's Trump's immigration policies don't come with a special exemption for white adjacent Latinos. ICE agents didn't stop and check for white passing Latinos before dragging them out of their homes. Border Patrol didn't care about their surname, their religion, or whether they voted for Republic or not, because at the end of the day, they were never part of the club. All right? And the worst part, they risk everything for nothing. They sold out their own communities for a fantasy of whiteness that was never going to be granted to them. They turned their backs on black folks who voted for Kamala Harris, thinking that they helped throw us under the bus, right? They couldn't stand the idea of voting for a so-called black woman, right? They threw their support behind Donald Trump, who made it clear he wanted them gone. And now they're crying about betrayal. Well, let's be clear. This is exactly what they signed up for. They thought they could play the game of white supremacy and win, but they forgot one crucial rule. Whiteness only protects its own, but not always. So now they're looking around confused. They see their families in detention centers. They see their people being deported. They realize too late that whiteness has slammed the door in their faces. And suddenly they won't help. They want allies. Suddenly they want to stand in solidarity. Suddenly they say, well, where are the black people? But what was that energy when black people were being gunned down by the police? Where was that energy when ICE is targeting these black immigrants disproportionately? The first man they captured was a Haitian dude. I'm not going back to Haiti. Yes, you are. Where was that energy when Trump called Haiti a crap hole country? They probably were laughing. See, it didn't matter to them. So why should it matter to us now? Now, this is the bed they made, and now they can lie in it. But the question of the day, and this is where I want to get down to, and this is where the study comes in. This is where the learning starts. The question of the day, shout out to Alonzo Dunn. Why do Latinos expect support from black people? And in order to understand that, I'm going to go ahead and share some video footage with you all, okay? Now, you're gonna learn something, all right? You need to hear what needs to be said. But let's start with this one.
Is border with Guatemala. Yes. Okay? We don't let them in. So the same thing that America does to Mexico, we do to Guatemala. Okay? It just, the news is CNN, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, New York Post, they're never going to show you that. Just so you know, Mexico is extremely racist. So we have what are like Guatemalans, even to its own Mexicans. So you got to remember, Mexico was dominated.
Did you hear that? Mexico is extremely racist. So these same people you see on the internet crying, asking black people for help, This is one of their own people saying Mexico is extremely racist. The same thing they do to the Guatemalans, right, who are a lot more indigenous looking. They don't want America to do to them. So keep listening.
By Spaniards. The only reason I look the way I look is because I'm 65% Spaniard. Mexicans, like real Mexicans, or which is known as Mexica, not Mexico, Mexica, are 5'4", super dark with big noses and the heads pushed back. Aztecs and Mayans,
like Indians.
like Indians. Well, we're natives, right? So we're blended. So the reality is in Mexico too.
Almost a year. And while I was there, in the apartment building that I was living in Pembroke Pines, there were some Mexican guys doing some repairs on the roof. They saw me pass by walking my dog, and they say, "Beautiful, morena." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And they say, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Cuba." They say, "Cuba? We didn't know people in Cuba look like you." And I said, "Like me, like what? Black?" And he just stopped on his tracks and change the subject. The majority of Latino people are very racist.
You hear that? The majority of Latino people are racist.
I didn't know that I was living in a very racist country until I met my Jamaican husband, and he made me realize how racist people in Cuba were. And once your eyes are open to this, you cannot unsee it. There was a time in Jamaica when you could watch Spanish television. We had 2 TV stations, Univision and Telemundo. These TV stations, each of them had one black anchor.
Now, I just want you to keep in mind, this is an Afro-Latina woman. So she's telling you as an insider to the culture that they're racist. I want you to keep that in mind.
One had one female for the news, and the other one had a male, 2 black people. Both TV stations show a wide array of telenovelas, which is basically Spanish soap operas. And these telenovelas were made and produced in Latin America. Brazil, Colombia, Mexico are one of the biggest places where soap operas are made. Now you tell me now, how a Colombian telenovela of 350 episodes don't have one black person in it?
Because they don't want to see black people on it. That's obvious.
If you see a black actor on a telenovela, is actually playing a slave or a character that you're trying to bring back to life, like Celia Cruz. So
Puerto Rico's racist. No one talks about that, and I've never even said that out loud.
You mean like colorism, or
in every variation of it?
We hear a lot about that. I remember Amara La Negra talked about the colorism.
Keep in mind, Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. So I just want you
and the Hispanic community, and that's been a real thing. The images you see on TV.
It's loud, active, and very present. Even when you think of loud.
Man said Puerto Rican, or that is loud, active, and very apparent.
An artist, you don't think of nobody that don't look whitish.
Right, you're right.
And that, I'm like, that ends up being that's an amplification of whatever's happening on a small scale, right? You look at the things that represent the culture that we consume, and you're like, oh, this is Latin culture. Show me what it's about. Give me a demo of it. And you see a slideshow, you don't see you don't see people of varying color. You start thinking that only that exists, and only that should be celebrated because that's the only thing that they're allowing to be celebrated.
That's the same thing they used to do to us. Other than that, they would put people shucking and jiving on TV shows, stepping and fetching and stuff like that.
Like in the telenovelas, they say it's all like white looking Puerto Ricans and Hispanic people on those.
Yeah. Same thing in the musicianship. There's black artists, you never hear about them.
Right.
And in
that's always been an issue in some of the reggaeton videos. It's like, where's all the brown skinned women in the videos?
The Afro-Latinas, where's the representation from them or for them? It's just not present. And then when you get there and you live in the land,
that's when you really feel it. Yeah.
You feel the absence of it. Like they almost look at you. I remember when I first got there, I just didn't get it. I'm 6'3", my hair looks like this. I be wearing my sleeves off, my legs be out. I'm like, so it's kind of hard to miss me. I'm kind of like an alien, right?
Sleeves off, legs out, here I am.
Here I am, right? I'm walking through the mall. I remember walking through the mall one day, and I'd never felt this before. And I've been around the world, and I've seen racism in different ways. And I remember nobody looking at me, and I remember thinking, okay,
All right, so we talking about another Afro-Latino right here. All right.
That's not crazy that people aren't looking at me, but people would go out of their way to not look in my direction. And it took me a while to process. I was like, what's going on here? I just didn't get it. I couldn't, because my brain doesn't default to, they don't love me because of the color of my skin.
Right.
Because my skin is beautiful. I'm glowing.
Well, obviously they didn't think that, brother. So let's go ahead and continue proving the point. Are we seeing the same thing? Are we all seeing the same things? I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. Okay, let's continue. All right.
Is very important, so I need y'all to read this. When the chips are down, you Latinos forget the support from the black folks. And I cannot agree with this creator more. The Latino community and its anti-blackness is strong, and it needs to be expelled from our community. We hate black people within our own communities.
Did y'all hear that? Now, these are the same people that want us to come running because they shedding tears on the internet. I want y'all to hear that. This is a Latino man, an Afro-Latino man saying, I want you to hear this.
Expelled from our community. We hate black people within our own communities, where Latinos, and I'm talking to Dominicans right now, my people, would say, oh no, I'm not black, I'm black white, or I'm Latino black. Whatever excuse to remove themselves from being African American, US black, the anti-blackness, the...
So I just want you all, where my foundation, somebody type FBA in the chat room. These are the people that are coming up here and that you all want to ally with. And I'm not talking about on a personal level. You know, some of you all have friends who are Latino. Some of you all have, some of you all have close friends, relatives, relationships with people that are Latino. But this is part of their culture. And so the question that we're asking ourselves is, why do these folk think that black folks are supposed to come running and help them? That's the question. Okay, I think we've established over the past, and most of you all know this, we've established that they have a racist culture. Their own people are saying they're racist. You understand what I'm saying? But the question, and I want you to keep in mind, why do Latinos expect black people to come support them, knowing that they're racist? We know they're racist. Their own people know they're racist. They know they're racist. Why? Why? Let's keep listening though.
Colorism in our community is so fucking toxic that is how white supremacists were able to split us up against each other, Latino against Latino, and also Latino against black Americans. And now we're seeing birthright citizenship.
I want you to understand something, because we always hear them saying black Americans are not unified and Latinos are unified. This man is saying, no, we're not even unified amongst ourselves because there's racial division. Now, I'm going to tell you, as a light-skinned black, I'm actually red. I don't really consider myself light-skinned. Light-skinned is like Prince. Who else? Steph Curry, somebody like that. I'm red, like Muhammad Ali. Okay, it's red and it's light-skinned. And then you got the dark-skinned brothers and the brown-skinned brothers who, brown-skinned brother, they just, they don't pick sides, okay? Now, aside from a little back and forth, light-skinned, dark-skinned banter, black folks, black men and black women, we don't separate ourselves like that. You're never going to hear some light-skinned brother out here telling folk that he is white or darn near white. That we don't do that, okay? We understand that we are all one people. So and that's why when the voting came down, black folks were on the same page. You understand? We don't do that to ourselves. 86% of us voted for Kamala Harris. Not me, because I don't care about your feelings, and I don't care if you get sent home over my wallet. Now, if I could keep the money in my wallet and not pay high taxes, maybe I would have thought about it. All right. But I wanted what I wanted. I vote my interest. I tell everybody else to do it. But let's keep listening.
Being taken away, the 1965 Civil Rights Act being attacked. And what a lot of Latinos don't know is that the 1965 Civil Rights Act was also what gave a lot of immigrants like your parents the ability to actually become U.S. citizens.
He's talking about the Hart-Celler Act. that I've been discussing over the past couple of weeks, the Hart-Celler Act. We pushed for it. That went along with the 1965 Civil Rights Bill. It was basically it got rid of racist policies that excluded people from immigrating to this country. And that's when the Latino population exploded along with the Asian and African population.
So birthright citizenship, a pathway to a status was established, was given to us by the hard work of the Black community.
Yes.
And when we were beneficiaries of all that great work that they did, what did the Latino community do?
They came over here and practiced anti-Black racism.
Spit in their face by voting for Trump, and now all that hard work is being wiped away.
Gone.
And that's right, Latinos did forget all of the support that Black people gave us and helped us get to a place where our great-grandparents and our parents and then the children born today were able to be part of this country. And that's why I'm trying to work harder than ever to do two things. One, expel the anti-Blackness in our community because, like I said before, we are Black. And also trying to do my best to rebuild between Latinos and Black Americans. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. Is there a lot of work to do on our part? Hell yeah.
I don't think it's going to work, brother. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think y'all pretty much on your own. And the reason is, and it's best said, you're going to have to fight this battle on your own. Now, if you wanted to unify back in the day, maybe so. But right now, I don't know. Now, check this out. Fair use.
In a car, write down the plate number.
A letter titled The Brown Roundup, Part 1.
And it states that starting the last part of January 2025, this nation will commence the largest roundup of brown illegals in our
You see that? You all in the hot seat.
History.
It goes on to explain how to help that effort.
For example, parking in a church parking lot and taking down license plates and car makes and models of folks that are brown.
Now, you keep asking where we at. Listen
to ask, it's got me really, really bothered is where are y'all Black Lives Matter people at, man? When y'all needed us Mexicans and all my peoples was there standing, marching along.
You were there in 1965. You only 3% of the population in 1965. You wasn't here.
With y'all right there, ready to take out whatever needed to be done. So now where y'all at, man? This is real talk, man. This is get off the man. Where y'all at, man? This is real talk.
I don't know who he think he's talking to, but we not showing up. I can tell you right now, bro.
Nah.
We not showing up. First of all, I'm trying to figure out, what are you protesting?
Yes.
What are you protesting?
What you protesting?
Because he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do. But before we even get to that, let's talk about this fake allegiance, right?
Yeah. The fake allegiance.
Black Americans, we have been in America long enough. We know we don't have any real allies.
You know.
Now, shout out to the individuals.
And again, you want us to align with. I want you to hear this joke from George Lopez. Let me remind you of this joke from George Lopez.
Don't marry somebody Black.
You hear that? There's two rules in a Mexican household. Don't marry somebody Black.
And don't park in front of our house.
Don't park in front of our house. And people laughed because there's some truth to that. That's why it's funny, because they know that's how they feel. And you want a Black and brown coalition? I'm just asking.
And don't park in front of our house. Sit your fucking ass down.
Now, a Black woman who didn't like the joke is getting up and walking out, and listen how he's talking to her. Shout out to T.I.
Sit your fucking ass down. I'm talking, bitch. Sit your fucking ass down.
I mean, I've heard a crowd work, but she didn't want to hear that racial joke. And what is he saying to her? Sit your effing A down.
You pay to see a show. Sit your ass down.
You're just supposed to sit there and take that. And she has the dignity to get up and walk out. You know what I'm saying?
You can't take a joke. You're in the wrong motherfucking place.
Now, I want you to keep in mind, George Lopez also went on the internet and he wanted to ask, where are the Black people? This is George Lopez, right? Famous comedian. And he's out here saying, well, where the black people at? This guy, the same one that said we can't come, he don't want anybody marrying his house. Black Mexicans don't want black people being married into their family. This is what I want y'all to understand.
You can't take a joke, you're in the wrong. So sit your fucking ass down or get the fuck out of here. Sit your fucking ass down or get the fuck out of here.
She was trying to get out of there. And then you told her to sit down, and now you telling her to get out of there. I want you to understand it.
I see you. Okay, titty motherfucking, I want to fucking hear myself. You got two choices. Shut the fuck up or get the fuck out.
Whole crowd cheering, right?
I'll tell you what, I'll make the choice for you. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'll make the choice for you. Bye. 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 You can't take a joke in the wrong motherfucking place. Bye.
Right.
America has a racial hot seat. I think we can all agree that that's the truth.
You all know Dave Chappelle. I want you to listen to this wisdom from Dave Chappelle. Listen to him.
And we can also agree that that hot seat is traditionally occupied by African Americans in general, African American men in particular. Although I can see that in recent years, that seat has been occupied by Mexicans and I dare say Arabs. And we, the Black Americans, would like to thank you both for your sacrifice and your struggle.
Right. It's a racial hot seat, right? Trump doesn't harass. In 2016, we weren't in a racial hot seat, and we're not in a racial hot seat now. Keep that in mind.
We needed a break. We all go through something, but at least I can leave my backpack someplace.
Yeah.
If you Arab and forget the backpack, you got about 20 minutes.
You'll send in
when they send that robot to blow your shit up. You kiss all that engineering homework goodbye, Fuhad.
Now here's the cold part about it. The cold part about it, these are the people.
See, I think we can all agree that
these are the people they want to cozy up next
El
to.
Salvadorians, Panamanians, Venezuelans, Chileans, they should all go home.
Oh, really?
If they're here illegally, yes.
But like I said before, these people have been devastated by, in the past, these countries are poor.
I don't care. Go fix your own country. Don't come to our country.
How? We picked that up in the first place.
Hold on a second. How do we screw up El Salvador?
That's how they feel about it. And these are the people these folks want to cozy up next to. I'm just saying, these are the people that you want to cozy up next to. I want you to think about that. Check this out. What they really think about it.
Of Latinos has plenty of white Americans concerned.
Y'all heard what he said? The increase in population of Latinos is white Americans concerned.
I sat down with 4 of those extremely passionate citizens.
If you look around, there's a lot of Hispanic people. I mean, not that there's any, I'm not racist or anything, but immigrants keep populating.
They keep populating like rabbits. This is what they think. These are who you want to cozy up next to.
Have 2 kids? What do they have? 4 or 5 kids?
I'm saying 7, 8.
Yeah, maybe.
9.
Maybe I should have mentioned I was Latino.
All cultures are not equal. I live in Koreatown, dear.
So you're saying your problem is Koreans?
No, Koreans are fine. But see, Koreans are different. Koreans are like Chinese. You don't see problems with the Chinese immigrants, even though they're illegal.
It's getting hot here. Starting to sweat through my shirt.
Latinos are worse than both.
They're being separated. If somebody's getting deported, I actually find it hilarious. It gives me a great deal of comfort. I have no sympathy that your child might grow up without a father because he got sent back to Mexico or whatever. Y'all are welcome to go with him. Don't forget that.
This is how they feel about you.
That's an option. That's a choice that you're making, right? I don't have any sympathy for your little videos that you're making on social media with all the tears. I don't give a shit. I'm actually fucking laughing at you that you're sitting there crying for attention. Okay. I find you guys to be subhumans. All right. Now, while you're sitting there judging me because I don't care that families are going to be separated from each other, I'd invite you to recall that hundreds of J6ers were separated from their families for something that equates to little more than a trespassing charge. Where were you then? Okay, bye.
Yeah, so these are the people that you want to roll up next to. These are the folk you want to sit up. These are the people you want to be like. So, and you want us to fight for you to stay, and that's your role model. I'm just saying. I just want you to think about that as you protest or ask why black people aren't out here. You racist, and your idols are racist. Now, unfortunately, you still got black people out there caping for you. Isn't that something? Listen to this. Fair use.
I guess while the deportations are going on. Y'all got my back. I got y'all back. We in this together. It's time to fight. Black and brown, we stand with you guys.
What does it say about these black folk? I just want y'all to, we're going to talk about it tonight. We just getting warmed up. Y'all going to have to buckle up.
I am not with his decision. That's not right. We need to unite as one.
Hispanics act just like us. Shit, they family.
No, they're not.
We got the motherfucking power as the motherfucking people. You hear me? They can't stop this. And that's how we need to unite as the people. Real talk. I stand with Mexico.
And I'm going to use my voice. If they're coming in here for anybody, these people are my people.
People are my people. Yeah, crying.
Dallas, Texas, City Hall, 2 o'clock, tomorrow, Sunday. Don't meet me there, beat me there, you hear me? Stand up for your rights and keep being a slave to the system. It don't make me no difference. The real ones are coming together. You cannot stop the children of Israel, you hear me?
For my black people only. Now, Latinos, you have the right to comment on the situation. However, black people, there's been a post regarding me protesting with La Raza saying this ain't it. This guy's a coon. This guy's a tether. This guy's doing it for clicks and views. This guy's doing it for Latin pussy. Bitch, I've been doing this shit since 2015. Let's get that correct. I've been put on this earth for a purpose, and that's to unify blacks and browns. However, I choose to unite the people. That's my choice. If I want to dance on a fucking cliff, I will. I'm a fucking dancer. That's how I get my message across, by fucking dancing. If you was a crumper, you already know. You send a message through...
Say this real quick.
Say it, brother.
One thing I do not understand, for the life of me, is how black people are supporting illegal immigration. I don't understand. How black people are going out of their way to vote for, support, crying, protesting, whining about illegal aliens getting deported. Do you realize all these benefits that these people getting, and they snuck over here last?
Because they see themselves as the saviors and servants of all mankind. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, brother. Go ahead.
And black people been in this country for over 100+ years and were slaves for over 100 years.
No, we were slaves longer than that.
Getting beat.
It was longer.
We didn't just come across no
250 some years of slavery, chattel slavery, about 100 years of Jim Crow.
border to come over here. We were made to come over here. We got beat, enslaved. All them years of fighting and crying and follow the drinking goer, Harriet Tubman.
Just for somebody else to jump in line and get all that you work for.
All of that stuff we went through.
Yeah, we did.
To finally get some peace and fairness in America.
We did.
And they come over here last weekend and y'all advocating for them.
Ooh, they should.
The birthright that was given to black people.
Tell it.
Because they weren't considered to be human, subhuman, slaves, didn't have citizenship. And in the Constitution, if you were born here, you're an American. That was for black slaves. That wasn't for them to come over here illegally through a fence and his girl have a baby and now they anchored here. Why are black people so silly to me?
I don't know.
Y'all should be the main ones saying, nah, bro, y'all can't piggyback off what we done did.
I don't know.
Y'all can't somehow get more benefits, more programs, more advocacy, more government funding than black people do. And we were an intricate part of the foundation of this country. Fought in the wars, everything.
Tell them.
And people come over here with flying Mexican flags, came over here 2 years ago.
American flag.
And y'all cool with that. I'll never get it. And I'm not trying to make it a us versus them, a black versus Mexican. But bro, y'all got it. Like, I don't understand how black people are the most supportive of this mess. It bothers me a little bit. The arrogance and pompous behavior of people that think that they're entitled to the American dream and they ain't put no sweat, blood, or tears into building this country.
They didn't.
And black folks been here longer than any other immigrant.
Yep.
And we advocate for these fools to get all this government funding and be able to have amnesty, and y'all on something crazy.
They are.
Just like the LGBTQ stuff. Man, there wasn't no gay water fountains. You had to eat at the back of the restaurant because you were gay. How y'all piggybacking off of the black struggle? Being gay is a choice. Being black ain't.
He told the truth. I mean, he told the truth. Shout out to Arthur Taylor. He's speaking the truth. And yet y'all still do it. But that's just a few select black folks. Most black people are resting. Somebody type rest in the chat room. Black women are resting specifically. Now, I find it interesting now. Here's the thing. You got a lot of folk out there trying to get black women specifically off the bench. The sisters are taking it. They good. They good right now. Okay, they're not trying to come out. They're resting. They're not coming. They chilling. And a lot of folks are trying to figure out how do they get black women specifically off the bench. And the sisters are like, we're not going to get off the bench. No matter how many tears you put forth, no matter how, no matter, whatever it is you decide to do. I mean, look at this. I want you to look at this. Look at this. Lead the way. I want you to hear the little song, The White Women. Listen to the white women. They need you black women to get off the bench. They need y'all to come out here and help them fight Daddy Trump. Okay, listen. Black women, they lead the way. Black white women, stop abandoning your sisters. Trust black women. Is that Dixie? Is that Dixie that they got that? The other they lead the way. Oh, we're mad as hell. Oh, can't you tell? Oh, we're mad as hell. Can't you tell? We descend to fucking fashion.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular.
Remember my all right, so here's the thing. I want all you folk to understand. When folks start complimenting you like that, they're trying to butter you up to get you to do something. When they start telling you how wonderful and fantastic you are and how powerful you are, they want you to come off. They buttering you up. They're trying to make you feel like you're the only person that can help them. You're so strong. They're empowering you to come fight their fights for them, okay? Now, a lot of sisters have had a lot to say about this. And so I'm going to go ahead and let the sisters speak for themselves.
Because guess what? We don't owe you anything. As a black woman, I don't owe you anything. I really want to know, where does this sense of entitlement come from?
I'm going to tell you.
You heard me.
I'm going to tell you in a minute. That's what the broadcast is about tonight. I ain't got good. I got to lay this foundation first, but I'm going to tell you in a minute. Keep listening.
Talking to black women about black women.
They singing songs. They singing you songs. When this the black woman, we need to listen to the black woman. They singing songs.
And your concern is not being centered in a subject matter concerning black women.
Yeah. They want
where does this sense of entitlement come from? Where do you guys get all?
Guys, why are we alone? We support everything when it comes to you guys. We are always there for you. And this is why we Latinos are just different.
Very different, because 60% of black folks will never vote against their own community. Don't you see how one moment had you sitting here rubbing your hair talking about we so different? No, you're not. And now you're just realizing you're not different.
You realize
you're a nigga with a silk press.
Oh, damn.
What's happening with Latinos is horrible.
Sorry, excuse the language. Oh my God. N-word with a silk press, that's new. That's new.
But there are a few things that we need to point out. First, black people stood 10 toes down for you. We put our hand out for you. And more than half of your community said nope and closed the door on their own people because they thought they had safe citizenship in this country.
That's what they
Porque este malditos es unos lambonos para este país. and they did not care what happened to the rest of their
They
community.
didn't care what happened to the rest of the Latinos, but you want us to come jump in there. Go ahead, brother.
And for two, the same people that voted against you are now quiet, standing next to you, marching, talking about we're family. Black people know a scam when we see it. And we know the same people that voted against you, they're still in that crowd.
Black people know a scam when we see it. And the same people in your own community that voted against you are standing right next to you in that crowd.
And Latinos are finding time to make videos saying, Black people, what's going on? Other people, what's going on? And they're not addressing that more than 60% of their community voted against them and closed the door on their own people. And now that white folks turned on them, they're acting like they had no clue. That is terrifying to have in your community. Before you enlist any help, one thing. Primero, busca los lambones en su comunidad. You need to look for the lambonos in your community first. Because I don't know who they are, but you got a bunch of traitors marching next to you. So you need to start to question people. Because as vocal as they were on turning on everybody else, they need to be vocal right now. And I want to see more videos about that.
Yeah, we want to see y'all clean y'all own house before we even consider talking to you about anything. But let's keep listening. Sisters arresting though.
Lead nowhere, and
now, this is another white woman trying to get black women off the bench. Okay, I want you, sisters. They're gonna come at you with compliments. Boy, they are gonna come at you with all. So I might have to do a broadcast on black women resting. I might do that. My page is typically I discuss issues that black men have to deal with, but I might have to do a broadcast on black women resting. I might just dedicate a broadcast to black women resting and not paying attention to all this foolishness. I can get a little picture with your feet up somewhere.
and the real world.
Hi, ma'am. Just so everybody knows, this young lady is asking why black women are not, getting down with white women. Let me explain something to you, ma'am. All your rights come from the feet and the back of black women.
Woo! Where the 92% at? They want you to go out there and be their avatar again. Their spirit animal. These white women love black women to be the spirit animal. Go ahead.
You do understand that. I want you to understand black women are the most educated human beings on the earth. You do understand that, right?
But they are the most enrolled group of women in America. I will say that. Let's keep in college, but keep on high level entrepreneurs. But let's keep going.
So us as black people, what we're doing right now, because we know we built this country, most of the money comes off our back. I mean, turn your fucking TV on. We're not playing you guys' game no more. Nothing. You will not get any rights, any freedoms off anybody's black back. From this day and this point on.
Be done.
We work for us.
Ooh,
like you
don't
said,
want to hear that, brother.
Men.
Don't nobody want to hear that. Latinos don't want to hear it. African immigrants don't want to hear it. Caribbean immigrants, nobody wants to hear that.
Like war. The only men like war are white men. That's your husband, not black women's.
Going back to your, that's what.
小红书.
Man, let's hear what the Latino lady has to say to her.
We have a discourse going on between, I think majority like Mexicans and the black community. And I just have to say to my Mexican people who are asking why the black people are not like protesting with us or whatever. Why?
Tell them why, baby.
Why would they?
Tell them, why would we?
92% of their women voted for Kamala. 80% of their community of men voted for Kamala. 60% of Latinos voted for Kamala. And I believe the majority were women.
60% of Latinos voted for Trump. That's a little correction, but let's keep going.
And the majority were Mexican. But that number is crazy. Considering that Hispanics and Latinos are becoming the fastest growing minority. Like we are going to.
And you pose a threat. That's what that white woman said. That white woman said, we can see that these Latinos are producing. Well, that's what they said, populating.
Be the majority soon. And it's crazy for me to think that.
Shout out to Lavelle.
That number was so fucking low. And now you're asking where the black community is when they're the ones who tried to avoid this.
We did. We sure did.
Hello. They tried to avoid this.
Tried.
We all tried to tell you guys, even within my own community. I'm talking to you guys because I did the work. And I know other Latinas who did the work. We were on calls every fucking week.
All right. My man Slim Shady says we only have 600 likes. We got too many people in this chat room. Y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm gonna put some church music on. Matter of fact, I might start singing up in here. I'll run all of y'all out of here. Hit the like button. Go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and hit the like button right now. I need to get my likes up. All right. Don't play with my likes. Even if you don't like it. I don't care if you don't like it. Hit the like button anyway. All right. Y'all go ahead and do that. We're gonna let this lady continue speaking.
We were writing postcards. We were making phone calls. And you guys were probably nowhere in sight. My Latino community. And now you're begging the Black community to come help us, to come save us. No.
You help yourself. No.
I think it's time.
Say no. All the Black people in the chat room say no.
Time we learn to save ourselves.
Yes.
And let the Black community rest.
Let us rest. Thank you.
My God, have they not done enough fucking work?
We have. We've done a lot.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Where were we during the George Floyd protests?
Nowhere. But they keep saying they're everywhere.
The Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland,
Trayvon Martin.
When their community was getting killed, where the fuck were we? Because I do not remember seeing any Latin people out there.
They keep saying they
were. Now, maybe there was one or two of y'all.
Maybe one or two.
I don't remember seeing any Mexicans out there.
Oh. Didn't want to get involved.
Why should they put their time, their energy, all of this into helping a group of people who didn't give a shit about them when they needed it?
They didn't give a crap not only about us, but about their own people. That's what's cold about it.
Our help. Think about that.
Think about it. I thought about it. That's why I'm saying.
Also, where the hell are all you Latinos for Trump at? Because I see a lot of you guys crying on here that you regret your decision. He lied to us. He used us. Where the fuck are you?
He didn't lie to you. He told you exactly what he was going to do. The question is, why did Latinos expect Black support? That's what I want to now. That's what we're going to talk about.
Are you out there protesting? Because you motherfuckers are really the ones who need to be out there.
Tell them.
You guys.
Yeah.
And all your fucking regrets for voting for him with your dumbasses. So before you guys start wondering where the Black people are, wonder where the fucking Latinos for Trump are. Where the fuck are they?
Put your little MAGA hat on. That's what I want you to do. Put your MAGA hat on and go on back out there and stand with your people. Okay, that's what you need. Y'all need to talk that out amongst yourself. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and answer the question. Shout out to Johnny Harris. Again, I see the same people donating every night, and I appreciate that. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. But I'd like the burden not to be on one group of people or one person to continue donating. So if you've learned something, or if you do learn something, and don't give me anything if you hadn't learned something. If I'm not doing my job, then I need to get better. Okay. But if you learn something, make sure you contribute to the super chat. That's the way you show that you are learning something. That lets me know I'm on the right track. Now, let's dig deep. Okay. Let's understand why Latinos, knowing that they have a racist history, I went over their how they are in their culture. I've gone over how they are historically in history. They have been practicing anti-blackness, not just here in this country, but even back in the countries of origin. Okay? Now, again, shout out to Yaya Kids. Why do Latinos now expect Black people to support them? Black people of all people. Why are they making videos on the internet saying, where are the Black people? Where's the videos that say, where are the Asian people? Where are the videos that say, where are the white people? Because there's a lot more of them in this country than Black folk. Where are the videos that say, where are the Arab people? Why are they picking on Black people, trying to get Black people out? You see? Because, see, let me explain something. Thank you, Empress Lattes. See, the hypocrisy, it could not be more blatant if it slapped you in the face with a fried plate of catfish. Okay? After turning their backs on us, after voting in overwhelming numbers to uphold white survivalism, after aligning themselves with a man who has attacked, vilified, and criminalized them, shout out to Master H, feeling free, thank you, at every turn. Okay? Now they want our help to get them out of it. But they voted for him. Now they want to stand in solidarity, but they voted for him. Now they expect us to save them. And the question we have to ask ourselves is why? Now, I don't have my jelly jar full of water, so I'm going to take a quick break and get my jelly jar, and we're going to answer that question. Seriously, though, I got to get my jelly, fill my mouth getting dry. You understand what I'm talking about? So you guys, hang on for a minute. I'm going to go get my jelly jar full of water. I've been sipping this tea and messed around and forgot to get my jelly jar. But in the meantime, y'all hit the like button. I'm going to be right back, and we are going to go on a blistering rocket ship to understanding. You guys hang out. I'll be right back. Hit the like button. Be right back right now.
It's a party going on. Hit the like, 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 hit the like. It's a party going on. We all looking at Dennis. Scrolling and subscribe. It only take you a minute. Hit the cash app, super chat, be a penny. One is real good, but 20 more can be plenty. Blizzard King pay a visit. Big Bass my witness. Appreciate the love. There's black men doing business. Stand up, father and brother, lawyer is he. Hall of Fame game, he's known as Uncle D. Tell it just like B, representing for we. We know time is money, you learning and pay a fee. Know it's cold outside, but the podcast hot. Giving you a feeling that these others ain't got. Say it's cold outside, but the podcast hot. Giving you a feeling that these others ain't got. Yeah, know that the blizzard come through. Bundle up for the winner, know this hit. Darren Hay watch, views. Hit the like, you know that the blizzard come through. Bundle up for the winner, know this hit. Darren Hay watch, views. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like.
We still look at all the beautiful music that we've created. That's what's on the inside of us. We are wonderful people. We are truly. Yes. That is right. We are truly a wonderful people, and we are blessed by the Most High. Now look, numbers don't lie, okay? And the question that we're asking ourselves is, why do Latinos expect Black people to support them, considering their internalized culture-wide racism, considering the fact that they literally did their best to vote for Donald Trump, okay? Now, again, numbers don't lie. And so I want to put things in perspective for you all. In this 2024 election, 86% of Black voters supported Kamala Harris. And that breaks down to 92% of Black men, of Black women, and 79% of Black men. We cast our votes against Trump. Not me, okay? I'm just saying, shout out to Corey Smith. Not me. I voted for Trump. I was one of those 21% of Black men who said, hell with all that. I'm focused on the money. I'm trying to get richer. Somebody type rich Black man in the chat room. Somebody type rich Black woman in the chat room, because there's some 8% of Black women that also voted for Donald Trump. Somebody type we rich in the chat room. All my Black folk who are trying to get their money type we rich in the chat room, because we're going to talk about rich Black folks too. Nevertheless, out of those, we got 86% of Black people who voted for Kamala Harris, who some say she was Black. She was clearly of African descent somewhere, I would guess. Okay. But nevertheless, the world thought she was Black. So we got a Black woman supported by Black people to the tune of 86%. Meanwhile, Hispanics, shout out to Calvin MCA, 60% of Hispanics voted for Trump. And that's not a small number. That's not a mistake. That is a deliberate choice, okay, to stand with white survivalism, okay? And if you don't, whether you believe Donald Trump is a white supremacist or not, that's not important, because the white supremacists believe that Donald Trump is a white supremacist. That's all that matters. Nevertheless, the Latinos chose to align themselves with a man who has made it clear that he sees them as disposable, a choice to support policies that hurt their own people. But now, after making that choice, shout out to Eric Brodus, after getting exactly what they voted for, they want Black people to come bail them out. Where was this so-called alliance that they're seeking to have when we needed them? Where were they when George Floyd was unalive? When Breonna Taylor was shot in her sleep? When black people took to the streets and demanded justice? Where were they when Trump spent years calling for tougher policing policies and attacking black athletes for protesting, which also went to embolden white nationalists, questioning the first black president's nationality? Where were they at? They laughed. They were laughing. Here's another one. Where were they when the black immigrants were being deported at a disproportionate rate? When black asylum seekers were turned away at the border? When Haitian migrants were being whipped by Border Patrol agents on horseback? I'm just asking questions. Where were they? I'm just saying, where were they? Right? They say they with us. We didn't see them because they were silent. And worse, many of them co-signed with the anti-black rhetoric and that white racists often use against us. Now, suddenly, they want us to fight with them. All of a sudden, they want us to fight for them. Now, I want to talk to you all about Latino anti-blackness. And there's some Afro-Latinos in here who we've put their videos up, and they can speak on that. But I want to talk about this root of the root of this hypocrisy, because the question is why. I get the fact, folks, if you want to support whoever, fine. But the question is, why do they feel entitled? Why is there an expectation that black people should step in and help? Where's that come from? And it comes from deep-rooted entitlement. I want you all to be clear about something. Latino culture is not some utopia of racial unity, irrespective of what they tell you. Many Latino communities are built on a racial caste system, one that places whiteness at the top and pushes blackness to the very bottom. From Mexico to Venezuela to Brazil to the Dominican Republic, anti-blackness is not just present, it is embedded, it is ingrained, I say, in the culture, the language, and the institutions. It is so common that it is part of their day-to-day routine, and many of them don't acknowledge it. The Dominican Republic literally stripped citizenship from black Dominicans of Haitian descent in 2013, and it left thousands of people stateless. In Mexico, the Afro-Mexicans that ran down there to escape slavery way back 100, almost 200 years ago, they were just officially recognized on the national census in 2020. In Brazil, despite having the largest population outside of Africa, white Brazilians hold a vast majority of wealth, power, and media representation. And throughout Latin America, the term mejor la raza, M-E-J-O-R-A-R, it translates to improve the race, all right? It's still widely used to encourage marrying lighter-skinned partners in order to erase blackness from the family line. These aren't isolated incidents. This is a pattern. This is their culture. For centuries, Latino societies have tried to erase, diminish, or outright exterminate their black populations. In places like Argentina, there was once a thriving black population. Systematic government policies pushed them to the brink of extinction. Forced military conscription and deliberate underrepresentation. Shout out to Gloria Sabry. What do I mean by that? The government in Argentina literally drafted black people who were descendants of slaves and put them on the front lines in the wars. That's what they did. They literally allowed sickness and viruses and whatnot to run, bacteria to run rampant through their black communities, and it basically killed them all. Even in the U.S., many Latinos actively distance themselves from blackness, rejecting the idea of people of color and solidarity until it's convenient. Then they want the black and brown alliance. I'm just saying why, though. But now, after everything that they expect, After everything we've seen, they expect black people to stand with them. Now, here's the thing. Why is that? And this is gonna hurt some feelings, but I gotta be honest, y'all know I can't do nothing but tell you this cold hard truth. The expectation that black people should come to their rescue, it's not just a political miscalculation. It's a reflection of how blackness is globally perceived. Now get in tight, it's gonna hurt some feelings. Throughout history, black people have been viewed as the permanent servant class. The ones who march, the ones who fight, who die on the front lines for justice while everyone else reaps the benefit. There's a saying in Brazil that said in Portuguese, the white woman is for marriage, a mulatto woman is for sex, and a black woman is for servitude. Think about that. See, we saw it in the civil rights movement where black Americans led the charge for racial equality, only for other groups, after we finished the fight, they jumped in to gain the protections while we continue to be criminalized and marginalized. And they expected to do that. We saw it in the labor movements where black workers fought for fair wages, only to be locked out of union jobs and opportunities when progress was made. We saw it in the 2020 Black Lives Matter protest when black people risked their lives in the street only for other communities to stand on the sidelines or worse, actively support the police violence being protested. The pattern is clear. Black people do the work and others reap the benefit. And now they expect us to do it again. Now, the question you need to be asking yourself now, brothers and sisters, why should we stand with them now? And let's just be brutally honest. We don't owe them anything. If the 60% of Latinos who had voted for Kamala had voted for Kamala Harris, maybe we wouldn't not be having this conversation. Maybe we could talk about mutual solidarity, about standing together against oppression. But that's not what happened. Instead, the majority of Latinos chose Trump. And in doing so, they chose to identify with whiteness. They chose to throw the majority of what black people stood for and indigenous people under the bus. I'm just saying. Because clearly they didn't have anything to gain because they're losing everything. I say vote your interest. I voted my interest. Nevertheless, now they want help from the same people that tried to help them at the ballot box. But let's ask this real question. Why are they asking us for help and not white people that they align themselves with? Where are the Trump supporters they stood shoulder to shoulder with? Where are the white conservatives they tried so hard to impress? Where's the Republican Party they voted for in record numbers? See, they won't go to them because they know they're never truly accepted. They spent years chasing white validation, and now they see the truth, and whiteness does not include them, but they're going to keep chasing. So they come to us. They come to us because they think we're their saviors, but we're not. They think we're their safety net, but we're not. We're not here to clean up the mess that they made. And that needs to be a lesson to them. If you choose to align yourself with somebody who is perceived to be a white supremacist, and I'm not saying Donald Trump is, I'm just saying the white supremacists think he's a white supremacist. That's why you have Yahtzees on bridges in Ohio with racially motivated signs. It's the environment that he created, something that you have to expect. But nevertheless, if you want to actively participate in your own oppression, if you cast yourself your lot with those who hate you, don't expect black people to come running when things go south. The era of these one-sided solidarity movements is over. And that goes for the African immigrants, the Caribbean immigrants, and the Latino immigrants. If they didn't stand with us, they don't need to expect us to stand with them. And this is the bed they made in, and now they need to lie in it. Now, the racial attitudes in Latinos, they bring these attitudes with them. And it's not an accident. They're is deeply ingrained in the history and the culture of their home countries, from Mexico to Colombia. Okay? They celebrate these things. It's global. They literally see us as a subservient class. In Venezuela, whiteness is still the standard of beauty and success. Skin lightening treatments are common, and marrying white is seen as a step up. In Colombia, there's an unspoken caste system. Colombia has one of the largest black populations in Latin America, but you would know it looking at the country's leadership and the wealthiest families. The racial hierarchy in Colombia is undeniable. White Colombians dominate politics, media, business. Afro-Colombians and indigenous Colombians are underrepresented in those aspects, but overrepresented in poverty and underrepresented in power. In cities like Cali and Cartagena, Afro-Colombians live in the poorest neighborhoods. They're often denied jobs. They even face brutal police brutality and violence. Same thing in Brazil. Does that sound familiar? That's because their struggle mirrors what Black Americans face, but with even less protection. Even though Colombia has a massive Black population, the country has been reluctant to even acknowledge them. The idea that a person is either mestizo or white is still strong, and many Black Colombians face pressure to deny their Blackness or identify as mulatto or mixed just to avoid discrimination. Yet, here in the US, Colombians will still turn to Black people for support, expecting us to fight for their rights while they continue to look down on us. Again, Venezuela, another country, is a perfect example of that they love to claim is not racist while practicing racism every single day. And I told you all about the study in 2013 conducted by the Swedish research team that said Venezuela is the most racist country in the Americas. Afro-Venezuelans and the indigenous people make up the poorest communities in the country. They're locked out of wealth, education, power, while the white Venezuelans dominate the economy and the government. And the media reflects this bias. If you were down there watching Venezuelan TV, watch the news, the telenovelas, it's overwhelmingly white, light-skinned actors, with Black indigenous people either playing minor roles or servants or criminals. And now Venezuelans are in a crisis. Many of them have fled to the US looking for asylum. Why would they expect us to advocate for them and we are Black Americans? And they actively practice anti-Black racism. I'm just asking, shout out to Logic Hits. They expect us to fight for them because in their eyes, we are the laborers, we are the workers, we're the muscle of the movement. We're the ones who should be marching and protesting and dying in the streets for their rights. While they watch from the sidelines waiting for the benefits. That's what they really think. Because there's no other reason to explain that. And you see, this is the thing. It's not just in Latin America. It's a global phenomenon. Our great teacher, Dr. John Henrik Clarke, said, the Black man, the African has no friend. In Arabic, the word abd, A-B-D, it means both black and slave. In Indian culture, dark skin is associated with servitude and lower castes, while lighter skin is associated with higher classes. In Latin America, the words Negro or Black or Prieto, dark skin, are commonly used as insults. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Blackness throughout the world has been positioned as a servant class and the people who do the hard work while others collect the rewards. And this is why Latino Trump voters now expect us as Black people to step out and fight for them. They're not running the white folk, asking them, hey, white ally. They're not asking them. They're not asking the Asians. They're not asking the Arabs. They're asking the Black man and the Black woman. Number one, because that's what we've always done. We're the ones that fought for civil rights, that got protections under those same laws. We fought for labor rights to get better wages. We fought for police brutality, to end police brutality. And they benefited from the pressure we put on the system. But now we're saying no. Somebody type no in the chat room. Somebody type no in the chat room. Now, for those Latinos who supported Trump, they're not just crying because they feel betrayed by white people. They're crying because Black people are not stepping up to save them. They're willing to participate in white supremacy. They voted for a man who told them exactly what he was going to do, and now they want Black people to fix their mistake. But we're not their soldiers, and we're damn sure not their servants. Excuse my language. And we are definitely not their saviors. For centuries, they've upheld a system that places them above us. They've locked up, they look down on us in their countries and their culture. They distance themselves from us when they come to this country. And now the same system they supported is turning against them. And they're learning what we've always known. The white folk don't love you like that, and they're never going to accept you. And this time, we're not coming to the rescue. See, this is a reality check for Latinos. You see? And it's going to be a hard pill to swallow. Very hard. I want you to get some water. I want you to understand something. Where my Black folks at? You're going to learn something right quick, too. Black Americans are rich. We're richer, more successful, and more prominent than you all. We're not your foot soldiers. We're not your safety net. And for all the talk about racial unity, when it benefits you all, the numbers tell a very different story. Let me tell you a little bit about Black American wealth. Shout out to Cody Marshall. See, Black Americans, despite centuries of oppression, are the most economically successful and social influential groups on the planet. Yeah, I'm talking about foundational Black Americans. You know, us Prietos, that what you call us? Prietos, Morenos, us. Yeah. What you think we've been doing over here? Now, there's approximately 44 million Black Americans in the United States. But Black Americans represent 8% of the total number of millionaires in this country. That's roughly 1,790,000 Black millionaires. Here's the cold part about it. We have 5 Black billionaires. Now let's contrast that with the Hispanic community, which is much larger. We have 44 million. You all have 65 million people. But you all only account for 7% of the US millionaires. That's about 1,540,000. So we got about 250,000 more millionaires than you all, and only two-thirds of the people. Let's put this in perspective. Even though the Latino population has over 20 million people larger, the Black population, the number of Black millionaires exceeds our rivals, those numbers. Shout out to Eddie Washington. We're outpacing you in wealth despite having fewer people. And when we compare Black American wealth to Latino America, the gap is even wider. As of 2023, the country of Mexico, which has about 126 million people, they only have 20,000 millionaires. Again, Black America has 1,790,000 Black millionaires. Mexico has 20,000 millionaires. That's barely 1%. We darn near have 8 times the number of millionaires in Black America than that whole country has. And out of the 54 countries in Africa combined, they have 120,900 millionaires. You hear that? 120,900. We got 1,790,000 Black millionaires. Africa has 120,900 millionaires. In Africa, all the countries, all 54 countries combined. So even under systematic racism, Black Americans have built generational wealth that many Latino immigrants can only dream of. Shout out to Be Tall Young. And see, our success was earned. Yours wasn't. Nobody stood in the cut. We fought for that. Now, you Latinos and all you other immigrants, you love to talk about how hardworking you are as immigrants. But the truth is, we built wealth in this country before you even got here. Black Americans have inhabited the most powerful nation in the world since before it was even a nation. Our ancestors endured 200 years of slavery, then another 100 years of segregation, lynching, and legal discrimination. And even after every attempt to keep us poor, uneducated, and oppressed, we created wealth. We built businesses, and we rose to the highest level of politics, sports, entertainment, and academia. Meanwhile, many Latinos, immigrants arrive in the U.S. benefiting from the very rights and protections that Black people fought for, the Civil Rights Act, affirmative action, labor laws, et cetera, et cetera. But yet and still, instead of gratitude, many of you come here looking down on us. But you got to look up to us to look down because we richer than y'all. You move into our communities, you gentrify neighborhoods, you try to erase our culture. You act like you were here first. You got John Lagos talking about Latinos created the C-Walk. You got Fat Joe talking about Latinos created hip hop. You mock us while benefiting from the very laws we bled for. You vote against your interests and you align yourselves with folks that don't even like you. Now you find yourself on the chopping block. And you want us to stand with you. We got millionaires and billionaires. Our achievements go beyond statistics. We produce the most powerful Black figures in the world, leaders who define success, wealth, and global influence. I bet you never heard of David Stewart. He's the richest Black man in America, worth $11,400,000,000. He's the founder of Worldwide Technology. Lives up in the Midwest somewhere. He made his money doing IT services for over 800 Fortune 500 companies. Of course, you know about Oprah Winfrey. She's worth $3,500,000,000. Media mogul, philanthropist, one of the most influential women in the world for the past several decades. Michael Jordan, worth $2 billion, most recognizable athlete of all time, and turn his brand into a global empire. And then you got Jay-Z and Kanye. Kanye West is worth $2 billion, straight out of Chicago. Shaped music, fashion industries. Been a cultural impact, stretches across the world. Jay-Z, $1.5 billion. Multi-industry empire spanning music, sports, and business. That's what black excellence looks like. Meanwhile, in Latin America, your billionaires are mostly European descendants. Mostly from the elites. They hoard the wealth while the rest of the population is in poverty. And their biggest cultural export is telenovelas that reinforce white supremacy and racism and prejudice. And most of your music genres would never exist without African influence. Like Celia Cruz, the mother of salsa, an Afro-Cuban woman that you all try to deny. Your wealth is nowhere near our level, yet you still act like you above us. Here's a reality check. And see, I didn't bring that up because I was bragging. It is what it is. See, now that you're realizing that you've lost everything, you realize that white America has rejected you. Your votes for Trump didn't buy you the whiteness that you thought. Your MAGA hats didn't protect you from deportation. Your Spanish surnames still got flagged at the airport. Understand also that Black America isn't coming to save you. You turn your back on us, and we're doing the same. You have become, as my man said, you occupy the racial hot seat here in America right now. Your status is declining. That dream of being white adjacency is dead. And without that, you're just another group of struggling immigrants with no power and no political home. So now, why would we ever put ourselves and our position in service to you Latinos when we are richer and more successful and more prominent than you? The answer is simple. We won't. So take that and run it up your racial flagpole. For centuries in Latin America, we are not your Latin American Afro-Caribbean brothers. We are foundational Black Americans. You will not come up in here and occupy a space above us, period. I don't care what you think. See, that Latin American racial hierarchy has conditioned white and adjacent Latinos to believe that they are above Black people. Their culture has taught them that blackness is something to be erased and avoided, or at best be used for labor and entertainment and exploitation. But now, you're waking up to the truth. Something you never saw coming. White Latinos just received their, what we would call a Negro Wake-Up Call. They thought they were aligning themselves with whiteness and voting Republican and parroting the same anti-Black, anti-immigrant rhetoric as their conservative white counterparts. That they would be, if they did that, they'd be granted some sort of special status in America. But here's a bitter pill for you. You're not white. White America has rejected you. White adjacency did not protect you. The so-called conservative Republican Party used you and threw you away. And now you're realizing that America's racial hierarchy, in that hierarchy, you below Black Americans. Damn. Excuse my language. And that's an unbearable reality for many of you all, because your entire cultural identity has been built on the assumption that you must be better than Black people. And that's why your panic is so loud. That's why your outrage is so bitter. That's why your tears are so delicious. Somebody type delicious in the chat room. with your white adjacent racist behinds. Type delicious in the chat room. It was never supposed to be that way, right? See, in Latin America, the racial hierarchy is clear. White, European descended Latinos are at the top. They run the governments, they control the wealth, they dominate the media representation. Mestizos, mixed race people exist in the middle. They often aspire to whiteness and distance themselves from the indigenous and black roots, and then they try to pass whenever possible. And then, of course, black and indigenous people are at the bottom. And they're overrepresented in poverty and underrepresented in power and systematically oppressed. I don't care if you're talking about the favelas of Brazil or the shanties along the mountains outside of Medellin. I've seen them all myself. See, this hierarchy is what Latin American immigrants bring to this country along with your tacos and your other food, okay? And your horchata and your salsa. That's what you bring. You bring your anti-blackness up here. Shout out to Big John. And you assume the same rules apply here. They really believe that. You still think black Americans are still the lowest group. You think that white folk are going to embrace you, right? Like the good immigrants. You think that proximity to whiteness will grant you some privilege. Are you all hearing me? That's what they think. Because nothing else explains why they would think we would come rescue them. Shout out to TIQS. But see, here's what you have to understand. America has a different racial hierarchy. Shout out to Delicious. And black Americans have fought for centuries to establish ourselves as a powerful, resilient, and economically strong community. Despite every attempt to keep us down, we have built wealth, created a global culture, and established dominance in every sector we enter. That is us. That's us. The social economic gap between black Americans and Latinos is massive. We're richer, we're better educated, and we're more politically influential. And now white Latinos are being forced to look up and see black Americans above them. And the black Americans aren't cooperating with their expectations. White Latinos, look, we're fine. We're fine with your anti-blackness. We've dealt with it before. You believe it wouldn't have any consequences, but it does. See, now that your white adjacency has been denied, now that you're facing the same brutal immigration policies that you cheered for, because you all do the same thing to Guatemalans in Mexico that white Americans are doing to you here. They treat Guatemalans horrible. Right now in Mexico, they are having protests against the immigrants coming right there in Tijuana, right south of San Diego. They keep their southern border on lock. And then you come up here and think you can enforce that same system. But that same system that you tried to align yourself with has turned on you. It got you looking for allies. And who do you turn to? Us. Because in their minds, black people are still supposed to serve them. That's what they think. This is why even after generations of discrimination, they still expect us to be the first to protest on their behalf. They're not asking white folk. Where are the videos of his, shout out to James, where are all the videos of Latino folk asking white folks to come out and help them and talking about what all they've done for white? Where are they at? How could you vote again? Where are all those videos at? Where are your videos with the Asians and the Arabs? Why are you coming at black folks and you actively practice anti-black racism? Why would you think that we would stand in solidarity with you? You all don't even trust your own folk. 40% voted for Kamala Harris and 60% voted for Donald Trump. Y'all have disunity amongst your own group. Look, black folk are not cooperating with you. We're not marching with you. We're not putting ourselves online. We're not sacrificing you for you because we're not your foot soldiers. You need to fight your own battles. This is a mess of your own making. Now, again, there will be some black people who step in because we're wonderful people. Shout out to all the black folks. We are wonderful and loving people. And so there are black people who sympathize with you, who empathize with you, who don't want to see you going through this. We're wonderful people, despite what you think. So you're going to have black people who are going to step in. Some black people who still think unity and solidarity still means something. Some black people who don't realize that the same people they're fighting for would turn around and vote against them again in a heartbeat and actively practice anti-black racism in their culture, in their homes right now. And to those black people, let this be clear. You're doing exactly what they expect you to do. You're falling right into their hands. They see you as a servant. They see you as a crash out or a crash dummy, and that's exactly what you're doing. But for the rest of us, we free. On top of that, we are resting. We're watching, but we're resting. And what we also are doing is we are letting you all experience what it feels like to be abandoned. Because, see, this is not our fight. You made your choice, and now you can live with it. Now, that being the case, I want to go ahead and read these wonderful super chats from all these beautiful people who have taken the time to send me messages. We got 42 super chats up in here. We are rolling. We are rolling. Maybe we can get to 45 before I finish. Shout out to everybody who contributed to the super chat. Shout out to everybody who came through with the Cash App. I got, I'm going to say Generette. I don't want to read your full name, Mr. Felder. Derek, Angie, thank you so much. I appreciate the Cash Apps. Now I'm going to go ahead and get to these super chats. If you learned something and you contribute to the super chat, that's awesome. I don't ask you to give me anything for free, only if you learn something. If you learn something, that's great. I appreciate you. I want to go ahead and acknowledge those people because this is very important. These are the people who truly learned something and they were motivated to contribute to the super chat. And I think that's pretty awesome. So we want to take the time to acknowledge them and the members. So shout out to Red Dragon. Thank you so much. Great analysis, Dennis. Thank you so much, Red Dragon. LaShawn Jones, good evening, Uncle D from Houston. That's right. I'm going to go ahead and put my money in for this barbecue. That's right, baby. I here cooking ribs. That's about to happen. It's going to die. Yeah, they need to. Yeah. Somebody type delicious in the chat room. Johnny Harris, did I miss much, class? Oh, you didn't miss much. You got here early. Actual proof your immigration series has been fired. Thank you so much. Yeah. I don't want y'all to be out there letting folk guilt y'all into running in front of these freight trains and ICE and participating in this foolishness. You can't say you didn't know. All I'm supposed to do is teach you. And you can take this information, you can keep it or you can let it alone, whatever you're going to do with it. But the bottom line is I'm not going to have y'all out there guilt tripping and being gassed up to crash out over some foolishness because you don't understand history. And you don't understand the context of what you're dealing with. So thank you so much, actual proof. I'm just doing my job. Shout out to Lee99. Thank you for the super sticker. Corey Smith. Hey, what's up, Corey? Welcome to the membership. You guys make sure you check out my reparation series that I put up yesterday. I think it's pretty awesome. Thank you so much for that. Also, Johnny Harris, is this crying time like Ray Charles saying? Yeah, man. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Call the Pope. Thank you so much, Alonzo. I appreciate you, fam. Good looking out. Blue Marble, we got 43 super chats. Man, if we can get to 45, that'd be awesome. I hope y'all can get me there. We need 2 more super. Well, actually, we got 44. Maybe we can get 45 pretty soon. That'd be great. My man, Blue Marble, Marco Rubio is the highest ranking Hispanic man in the U.S., and he isn't saying or doing a thing on their behalf. Let that sink in. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Y'all need to get your culture under control. You see, you need to have a way to check your own people before you come in there trying to think we're going to play servant and slave to you. This is not Venezuela. Shout out to Tam Chaos. Black people are horrible. Yeah, that's not going to help your case, big fella. Yeah, we had folk in here saying, but they're entitled to say what they want to say, but it is what it is. Your own people are horrible if they voted to have your own people deported, knowing that the man said that's what he was going to do. Steph Cam said, no need to justify or apologize voting for 47. I probably voted against illegal immigration. Kamala and Dems would been worse for FBAs. I agree with that. It was going bad. I vote your interest. Look, I'm not here to tell people who to vote for. Since I've been here, I just tell you vote your interest. My interests happen to align with the Republican Party. I literally would have voted for Kamala Harris if she was a Republican because it served my interests at this time. Vote your interests. That's what I tell you guys. Whatever your interest is, vote. If you're a union member, a school teacher, you probably should vote. You should have voted for Democrat. If you're a small business owner, you got you want to save on tax, you probably should have voted for a Republican. That's what I'm saying. Vote your interest. Somebody type vote your interest in the chat room. Today's stories show my 4 times great-grandfather was a slaver that owned my 4 times great-grandmother in Mississippi in 1840s. So I can't say FBAs don't understand families being separated. Yeah, man, that's my same story. Shoot. You see what I mean? We've been through it, and look where we are now. Shout out to Vivek. Blue Bag said, got his Indian red dot, no feather wake-up call. They learned real quick. Yeah, man, you better understand who you're dealing with. They need to read some of these Black history books. Shout out to James Harper for the collection plate. Good looking out, fam. Who else we got? Yashua Ben Joseph, Mr. Sperling as the FBA man originally from North Carolina. I've seen more anti-blackness in the DR against Haitians by Dominicans than I did in the South. Irony. Yeah, a lot of brothers, Black Americans that go to the Dominican Republic, they treat you well because you're an American. Had you been a Haitian, I'm just saying, it's going to be some anti-blackness. A lot of brothers who travel, who lately, I guess past 10, 15 years, we've been traveling overseas, they treat you well because you're an American. It's that blue passport power. So don't be fooled at the smiles. They still practice anti-Black racism. They just dealing with you because you're an American. And that American passport often sometimes trumps your what they feel like they will be losing because of the blackness. So keep that in mind. All right, don't be under any confusion or illusion. I'm just saying. All right. Now, also Alonzo Dunn, white supremacy plays both sides. They break their tools when they're finished with them. They are not the model minority as they thought. Yeah, here's the thing. They got used, they got played, and now they don't know how to accept it. So they want to turn to people who they think will be crash outs for them. And that's Black folk. And we like, nah, we are not those type of Black people. You need to go back to South America, Central America, the Caribbean, where however you treat them Black folks down here, we have delineated ourselves from them. We are the rich foundation of Black America. You understand? We are the successful, we are the entrenched, we are the politically astute foundational Black Americans, irrespective of what you see and how you see us cutting up on the internet. That's just the overpublication of some of our bad habits. Nevertheless, 60% of Black men, by the time they hit middle age, are either rich, upper middle class, or middle class. What does that tell you about us? We have darn near 2 million millionaires in this country out of 44 million. What's that tell you about us? It tells you we're successful. Y'all need to cut it out. We're not your subservient class at all. You got that wrong. We got 49 super chats who might get to 50. That'll be nifty. Anyway, shout out to TIQS supporting Black male media. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Look, man, I shouldn't have to tell you all this. Hit the like button. You're not getting this anywhere else. Not with this level of humor. and veracity. You understand what I'm saying? So y'all do what you got to do, man. Anyway, thank you guys so much. And everybody who subscribed, good looking out. Please subscribe. Hit the bell. We're going to keep this thing pushing. And we're going to ride this all the way till the wheels fall off, baby. Like a a 6-4 Chevrolet riding down Crenshaw Boulevard. Bam. Anyway, shout out to my man Johnny Appleseed. That's not what happened with George Lopez. She was half Mexican. She was supporting his joke, but it's interesting. She was cool with it. Oh wow, I didn't even know that. But he is the one that just said he needs black people to understand that they have two rules in the Mexican Mexican household: don't marry anybody black, and don't park in front of our house. And a lot of people laughed, and that just further confirms that they do practice anti-black racism. He didn't say don't marry anybody white. He didn't say don't marry anybody Asian. He said don't marry anybody black. So what does that tell you about them? You see? I just need you to think about that. And that was the whole point of it. Nevertheless, he was disrespectful to the woman. Yashua Ben Joseph, is nauseating to see the clips of black Americans caping, crying, and sad to see these illegals being deported. Make it make sense. Yeah, bro. It's unfortunate, but society has brainwashed us to feel as though we are the subservient class. You know, like our great ancestor Harriet Tubman said, I could have got a lot more black people free if they knew they were slaves. So just keep that in mind. That's the mentality you're dealing with. But we go a long way to try to root that out of our culture. We have some great shaming techniques, which involves explaining to certain individuals how they prefer to be indoors in the home dwelling as opposed to outdoors. Okay. We have certain animals that are nocturnal that we compare them to when they begin to behave in that way. So we have lots of ways that we keep the culture straight. Even though a lot of people don't understand our culture, they say it doesn't exist. We understand our culture. So yeah, it is pretty darn goofy for them to be doing that. Nevertheless, I voted for Trump. I love the results, no regret. Yeah, same here. So far, so good. Miss Elaine, I know why self-preservation, to call out what they thought are undesirables that gave them the bad look. Just look at the boulets. Thank you so much, Miss Elaine. I appreciate you. Everybody want to be a ninja until it's time to be a ninja. Right, Paul Mooney, good looking out, but he was right about that. The late great. Dare you sing? I dare you to sing. I'm not gonna sing anything. We got 50 super chats, man. Y'all try to get me to 50. Let's see if we can get to 55 before I get to the bottom. I'm still rolling through this. Yaya kids, thank you for the $20 super sticker. I'm gonna read fast. Let's have a race. Y'all get me to 5 before I get to the bottom. I impressed. Number 1, impressed Lattes. Thank you. Gratitude. Thank you too, baby girl. I appreciate you. Master H, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, brother. That's what's up, man. Thank you for the super chat. A super sticker. Feel free. He says, I have learned plenty, and despite myself, I had some laughs. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna have you out here. We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be funny. Okay. We're gonna talk about it, you know. I ain't gonna be in here being a professor or something like that. Good looking out, Mystic Medica. Thank you so much for a new membership. Shout out to my new member. Yeah. Shout out to Jamal Smith. Shout from DMV. Love the respect. Save the thick Latinas. No, right? Save the thick Latinas. Boy, you messy, man. You better cut it out. They gotta toughen up a little bit though, man. They out here crying on the internet. But who else we got? The Bone, thanks for the $10 super sticker, or super chat. Also, Corey Smith, thank you for the super sticker. Calvin MCA, I live in NYC. We are being mollywopped with taxes and high insurance premiums. We're sitting this one out, MAGA. Yeah, man, you need to come on, get on up out of there. You need to move to North Carolina or something like that. You need to get on out of NYC till they get that situation straight. Eric Broders, Uncle D, got him, brother. Got you too. Thank you so much. Gloria Savory, good looking out, baby girl. Good to see you back up in here. Thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. Logic Hits, we are the enemy of white supremacy who support it and make it last one more day than it's supposed to. It makes you enemy as well. Yeah, man. And see, the other thing about black people, we always talk about how we fought, how we build, but see, we also fight. Y'all see what happened on that bridge in Ohio and Cincinnati? Them boys came down with their little, the Yahtzees came down and they got ran up out of there. They were hitting them upside the head with those cans of vegetables and stuff. They ran them up out of there, took one of their flags and burned it. We also fight when we have to. You see, and that's another thing about our culture. Our culture makes sure we have to fight. You folk call it violence, but you can't live in this country where you surrounded by people who want to do mean things to you and hurt you and not be willing to fight for yourself. You've been extinguished a long time ago, but you have to also know when to fight and be intelligent about it. All right, so shout out to you. Thank you so much, Cody Marshall. They call us FBAs, a permanent underclass. Right, and they got to look up to us to talk down to us. Isn't that something? They got to see us everywhere to talk down to us. They would love to bury us. Look at those two brothers that played in the Super Bowl this weekend. Look at that black man who was doing that performance, Kendrick Lamar. We're everywhere. They thought they made a comeback, and we just showed up everywhere on the field, singing songs. We can't even understand what he's saying. Oh my God, right? We everywhere. And we're not going nowhere. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar and all you. I'm gonna talk about that probably this week sometime. Good looking out, my man. B Tall said, I knew there was no Black-Brown alliance back in the 2012 during the Trayvon Martin rally in Miami. Miami is majority Hispanic. No Hispanics showed up. Yeah, where were they at? They always talking about they there. Where we didn't see you, right? You sided with your adjacents. You see? Shout out to my man Big John, my brother laying it on thick. Yeah, man, I got to. Time is short on this planet, man. I got to do my work. We got 50 super chats. It'd be great to get the likes up. Do we have 1,000 likes? Are there 1,000 likes? Let me see. I'm gonna take the time. Are there 1,000 likes? Have you all hit the like button enough to get me to 1,000 likes? Do we have 1,000 likes? Somebody in the chat room, let me know if we have reached 1,000 likes. All right, we got 73,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. But do we have 1,000 likes? That's what I want to know. Let's see. We're doing all right. We got 954 likes. Man, I need 46 people to hit the like button. Come on, 46 people. I need 46 people to hit the like button. Go ahead and take the opportunity right now to hit that like. Don't make me have to run that. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. We need 46 people to hit the like button. Y'all go ahead and do that for me. Don't do me wrong, baby. Don't do me wrong. All right. But anyway, yeah, y'all hit the like button. Let me see what else we got up in here. Delicious. Yeah, that's right. Jamal Roll, great show. Thank you, fam. TGF Diesel, great knowledge as always, big bro, for the collection play. Did y'all learn something? If you learned something, hit the #1 button. I know you learned something. I give you times and dates. I sneak some knowledge in there too. You see, I sneak some facts in there too. Through the entertainment, you're getting some facts. I think that's important. You can carry something away from this. That's what I want. I want you to learn. That means I'm doing my job. Thanks for discussing this topic. No one in the media has delved into why Latinos feel entitled to Black support. Yeah, man, because they don't want to go that deep. They have to align them. They don't want to offend anybody. I don't really care about offending anybody. I have to speak truth to my people. Matter of fact, I have to speak the truth to everybody on behalf of our people. I have to. You know, I don't want my legacy to be one of someone who held back, you know, and it's not that I have to because it's necessary right now. But otherwise, folk will be out there misguided. You'll be jumping in front of these cannons and guns for folk that's going to turn around and turn their back on you. So I have to do what I have to do. I believe. But either way, as long as I'm factually accurate, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, man. Yeah. Shout out to Apprentice. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You almost finished. During the 2018 Florida governor race, Andrew Gilliam offered a pro-immigration plan, and the Hispanics still voted anti-immigrant white. They never learned. Let them just go ahead and bump their head. That's what they have to do. GCLA, thank you for the $10 super sticker. And also Sneak 23. FBA ladies, we got a good and we got FBA ladies, we got a good glass of wine and a hot tub to rest. Yes, you do. All the Black women in the chat room, somebody talk rest in the chat room. Back in 2015, during the Oscar So White protest, Asians were mad at Black people for not speaking up on their behalf. I know, I remember that. Ooh. They all think we're supposed to be subservient to them. You seeing someone realize that other groups want blacks to be political? Yeah, they want us to, they literally, again, like I explained to you guys, foundational black Americans are the richest black people on the planet. We have more millionaires in our one country than the entire 54 countries in Africa. That's what I need you to understand. They got 100. Just think about that. Okay, we are not trying to be subservient to anybody. If anything, you're gonna be over here as being subservient to us. If any doggone thing. Period. You understand? Shout out to King Musa. Let me top it off, Aunt D. Dems were trying to replace us with them. Trump stopping ethnic cleansing. He did. It does not benefit us to have this unfettered immigration and illegal immigrants coming to our country. It just doesn't do us, and that's what Officer Tatum was talking about. It doesn't benefit us to do that. That's why I tell y'all to vote your interest. Good looking out. We got 52 super chats. Maybe we'll get to 55 before I finish this broadcast. But my man, Kenneth Milo, they know how powerful we are when we decide to move and take a firm stand. We move, the world feels our power. That's why they want us to intervene. Yeah, they want us to come in there and take, and we do it well. See, we have officially hit over 1,000 likes. I knew we could do it before the end of the broadcast. Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Yeah. If you learn something, hit the number 1 button. That makes me proud. If you learn something, hit the number 1 button. Again, I'm not asking anybody to give me anything. If you learn something, that means you contributed to the super chat, or at least you acknowledge that you learned. So I'm not saying that everybody didn't learn anything, but I certainly do appreciate you letting me know. So all those people who contributed to the super chat, good looking out. Now, let me turn this mood music off, because I got to go on here and get back to this grill. I want all the black women to sit up front. All the black women, I want you to pay attention. I want you to sit up front. All right. Now, why are we here today? Why are we here today? Because there's been an overwhelming number of Latinas crying on the internet.
Is crying over deportations of illegals Filipino from USA, she says.
They've been on the internet.
I could do something,
crying.
but I can't.
People are getting attacked.
That's all I'm saying. They've been on the internet crying. Latino dudes on the internet crying.
I make crying videos because I think it's kind of silly, but like I'm
you understand?
Setting up to celebrate my mom's birthday.
Mamacita's been on the internet crying. Just boo-hooing it up. Crying about the fact that people are being deported.
Are you guys not scared for your friends that are undocumented?
Let me say this from the bottom of my heart. To all you Latina women who are out there crying, stop crying. Stop getting on the internet sobbing and wailing and begging for sympathy, because nobody cares. The tears of the oppressed are delicious to the oppressor. And the more you cry, the more they enjoy your suffering. The more you cry, the more they feel emboldened to victimize you. If there's anything you should have learned from Black Americans by now, it's this: crying doesn't work. Learn from Black women. Strength over pity. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and talk about Black women, because if you want to survive in America, you need to study the blueprint they've already laid out. It's already been written. They're resting. They're not talking right now, so I'm going to speak on behalf of them as an observer, having been raised by a Black woman and birthed by a Black woman, having sisters that are Black women. Don't cry for sympathy, because they know they don't cry for sympathy, because they know they won't get any. A Black mother can lose her child to police violence. She can be raped. She can be beaten. She can be she can be unalived or left half unalive. She can work herself to the bone. She just to survive. And still nobody will have pity for her. And in fact, society will find a way to blame her for her own pain. And that's why Black women don't cry. Instead, she stands up and she does what needs to be done. When her children are unalive, she fights for justice. When the world tries to break her, she builds empires. When she's left alone, when her man is taken from her, either through being sold into chattel slavery or locked away in prison, she keeps going because she knows she has no other choice. For centuries, Black women have survived the unthinkable. Black women were raped by their enslavers and sent right back in the fields the very next morning. She would have given birth to that enslaver's child. And the following day, they would put her right back in those fields. She watched as her husband was lynched, her children were sold off like cattle. She went right back in those fields. Black women raised generations of Black leaders on their own. And when their men were shot, she continued their work, like Coretta Scott King and Sister Betty Shabazz. And it was nothing but sheer willpower that kept them going. And yes, she endured. See, Black women didn't have the luxury of breaking down on the internet or behind the scenes. They didn't have the luxury of weeping in the streets and waiting for somebody to save them because, nobody cared. And because of that, they became tough. And they became tough because they had no choice. Some of you may call them mean. Some of the brothers call them mean. Some of the brothers call them masculine. Some of you may think that Black women are harsh. Some of the brothers think that Black men are harsh. Some of the sisters think that Black women are harsh. But see, it was that toughness and there was that harshness. That's what got us through 400 years of chattel slavery and Jim Crow and segregation and lynchings and mass incarceration and systematic oppression. And she did it without shedding tears for the world to see, begging for sympathy. See, that same mean, harsh, tough woman is what ensured that Black people would survive and thrive. That same mean Black mother that you see at the schoolhouse, in the grocery store, yelling at her kids. That same spirit that raised warriors. That's the same spirit that ensured Black men, despite everything this country had thrown at us, continue to rise. And you Latinas, I can tell you now, you're not built for this. You're not tough enough. You can't shoulder the burden that Black women shoulder. You're not going to make it. Let me tell you some hard truth. You're too soft. Y'all cute though. You're fun to look at. You dance real pretty. But you're not built for survival in America. Now, you all spent decades cozying up next to whiteness, assuming that your light skin, your last names, and your cultural proximity to Europeans will protect you. See, you're too dependent on whiteness, and now that whiteness has rejected you, you're scrambling. You didn't think this country would turn on you. You didn't think that your proximity to whiteness would expire. You didn't think that you would be at the bottom of the ladder looking up at Black Americans. And now that reality has hit you. And you're breaking down. But listen carefully. You're never going to elevate in this country. You're never going to reach the levels that we have. You're never going to build what we've built. You're never going to outpace us in wealth and power or status. Why? Because you don't have the discipline. You don't have the resilience, and you don't have the toughness, and you don't have our women. And that's why, even though this country has done everything in its power to keep Black Americans down, we still have more millionaires and billionaires and more global influence than any other ethnic group in this United States of America. But let me be clear. You're never going to elevate in this country. Black Americans, despite centuries of systematic oppression, have out-earned and outbuilt and outlasted you and every other minority group in this country. We got more millionaires, we got more billionaires. And the thing is, we've dealt with the full force of white supremacy against us. We're the ones that made it so that you can be here. And here's another thing, we still continue to dominate, whether we're talking about business, sports, politics, and entertainment, whether it's Republican, Democrat, Eagles, Chiefs, we everywhere. And the thing is, because we're tough, because we're mean, because we're resilient, we were able to rebuild and build and rebuild again under conditions designed to keep us poor, and we still rise. So I want you to think about that. You crying because you're being sent back to your homes of origin. Our women didn't cry when their children were taken away from them. You're crying because your father is being deported. Our women didn't cry when they watched their fathers be castrated and brutalized and buck braked in front of them. White supremacy's never stopped working against us. But Black men and Black women together have produced more wealth and more cultural dominance than you ever will. And why is that? Because we don't cry on the internet. We ain't out here begging, we building. So we might fight a little bit amongst each other, call it a gender war, but we still endure and we still winning. And we did it by ourselves. Look, to all you Latinas and Latinos, nobody's coming to save you. And I need to make that as clear as possible. So let me tell you something, listen carefully. And I'm gonna tell you again, Black women are resting. To all you white women out there, that's your white man. You birthed them, you married them, you raised them. You need to deal with them if you lose your women's rights. Latina women, your husbands and your sons are being deported. You need to deal with the people who voted on behalf of Donald Trump. And that goes for the Asians and the Arabs too, whether you're from Palestine or Saudi Arabia. For centuries, Black women have been at the forefront of this fight, not just for Black men, but for every group that begged for their support. They're resting now. They fought for civil rights, not just for themselves, but for everybody. They fought against police brutality while everybody else stayed silent. They marched even when we couldn't. They protested and sacrificed. They bled for causes. They would never return. They never had that favor returned. And now they done. Done. Now the thing is, if black women survive centuries of brutality, poverty, and oppression without crying for sympathy, so can you. So stop crying, stop begging, and stop acting like someone owes you something, especially us. You made your choice when you aligned yourself with whiteness. You wanted to be white adjacent. Now live with it. Black women clocked out. And you other ladies, you're on your own. This is Uncle D.
Dennis Sperling.
In the city where the lights don't sleep, Uncle D got the vibe so deep. Representing men strong and free. Dennis Sperling is the king of the spree. In the streets where the rhythm flows, black men rising, that's how it goes. Uncle D got the truth to show. In his heart, that's where the fire glows. Late night tuning, light up the stream. Dennis Sperling, wisdom gleam. Voices whisper truth and insight. In his podcast, feel the light. Harmony in every word. Truth and laughter you've heard. Oh, that's all right. Wave after wave of smooth delight. Dennis brings the dark to light. That's the Elizabeth, baby! Share the tales unfold. Stories born like morning gold. Feeling the wisdom inside me. Subscribing like time after time.
Black men, black men, black men, I want to salute you. Your incarceration rate is down. The education rate is up. We up. We went from, we are doing great for ourselves. So you should salute yourself. Shout out to all the brothers out there, whether you're a truck driver or an engineer, whether you're an electrician or garbage man, a doctor, a lawyer, if you a hard-working brother, if you fresh out the penitentiary, but you on your grind and you doing it legal and you trying to make amends for yourself, man, I salute you too, brothers. God bless you. This is Uncle D, and you know, I'm out.